wah, wah. Hello, my friends. Hello, clobbers. Greetings, greetings, greetings. Welcome to Star Trek. Saturday Night Star Trek, I should say. I can't say anything right. You know what? I've only been doing this like 12,000 years and I can't open up a damn show right. Ugh. Clobbering times issue number 266 on YouTube, but 966 overall Saturday Night Star Trek. We are reviewing, of course, Star Trek The Next Generation. As if you didn't know, Chaz. Welcome, everyone. And that, too. I always forget that part. I love how you just throw it in there as a surprise. Yeah. But I always end up talking over you when you do it. But people love it anyway. So yeah. Thank you so much. Hello there, number one. Welcome, everyone, to the most wonderful first officer in the fleet. Hey, hey, hey.
Hey, it's easy to be a pretty good first officer when you have a captain like I do. I love you. How are you, Clubby, my Star Trek soulmate?
I am always the better when I'm with you, my wonderful first officer, and also with this great crew that we have.
Yay!
That is populating this evening. And of course, I know many of our other friends will probably be here eventually. I hope so. But we got a great crew out there already. And we'll say some hellos in a few minutes. We'll first get started. I believe we have some you have some Star Trek notes, but what I would have you do first is tell everyone about your wonderful literary works and where they can find them.
Oh my goodness. Thank you so much. Yes, folks. And thank you, Captain. I write science fiction and I'm putting together a short story collection. And in trying to drum up interest in the publishing industry for getting them published all together in a beautiful collection, I need to sell them separately and show that people want to read these stories. So if you would support my work, I would be most grateful. My science fiction short stories sell for 75 cents American on Amazon. They can be downloaded onto any device, Android, Apple, and you can also get them on your Kindle. So thank you to one and all who have supported my work and left brilliant comments. I think we may have the smartest chat on YouTube. Other people say that. It's hyperbole. I actually think it might be the case here. Some of the reviews I have received have been so well wrought, so outstanding. They nearly left me in tears of joy. I love you guys. Thank you so much.
Well, absolutely, absolutely, please. And everyone, of course, there is the link, and it will remain, even though it's still in the chat. It'll make the chat goes up, but it will also be, as always, perpetually in my description below. So I believe you said you had some, before I do the normal show notes, did you have some Star Trek show notes to do?
Yeah, I have some house cleaning to do, a Saturday night Star Trek house cleaning, because I was remiss on Clubhouse night. On Clubhouse night, I thought I was going to remember. But the thing is that I love you and Mark so much. I have so much fun with you guys. I got sidetracked and I just totally forgot to mention it. But it was Michael Dorn's birthday on Thursday.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So if you follow him on Twitter or on Facebook, please go drop by and wish him a very happy birthday. I can't remember if he's 62 or he's 63. One of the two.
Oh, okay.
And it's his birthday. So the great Michael Dorn, it's his birthday. Also, so you know, today is Insurrection Day. Whether you like the film or not, you need to know that December 11th, 1998 gave us Insurrection Day.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And something really cool for all of you, because Christmas is coming. The lovely, the introverted, and positively nerdy Linda Park, that's Hoshi Sato. Mm-hmm. You know her as Hoshi Sato. Uh-huh. She announced today on Twitter that she's going to be on Cameo. So if you know and love a person, a Trekkie who just absolutely loves Hoshi, or just loves Star Trek in general, the beautiful Linda Park is going to be doing Cameo. So if you want to pay to send a beautiful message to your mom, to your dad, to your sister, to a friend, maybe it's your boss. I am here to definitely promote the beautiful, introverted, positively nerdy, gorgeous, some might say delicious Linda Park. follow her on Twitter, and go and use her Cameo. Show her how much we love her.
You might want to tell everyone what Cameo is, because I don't even know what it is.
Oh, okay. Well, Cameo is a service that you can use on the internet where you pay a fee and you can access all the different stars. And some stars use it and some stars don't. And for Linda Park to use it is crazy because she's a well-known introvert. Anyway, what you do is you go on Cameo and you can pay a fee and you can send a live video message to a loved one. So you actually send a note to Linda and you say, Linda, my mom is a huge Star Trek fan. She just absolutely loves you. You're wonderful. Would you please send her a Christmas message, or and this is her name, or can you send a Christmas message to my whole family? And then what's beautiful is you get this wonderful email from Linda Park, and it's a video. Usually she'll, the actors or actresses or famous people, famous rock stars, will record it in their own home and on their phone, and then they send it to you via email, and then you get to send that email out and to share that video with your loved ones. So Linda Park is on Cameo. Go use it because she's so cute.
I love her.
Yeah, well, you should go and get a Cameo with her. She's great.
I think she's always thought she was a cutie. Yeah, so big fan of her. And I liked Hoshi. I think Hoshi was a really good character and very underrated. And actually, she didn't get a lot, but she had her episodes here and there. Yep. So yeah, I thought she was great.
Well, if they would have gotten as many seasons as everyone else, I think she would have been absolutely incredible, absolutely wonderful to have a linguist in Star Trek. It would so much potential there. We were cheated because that would have been such an outstanding character to develop.
Yes, and there were some good ones though. She did get a couple, but yeah, you're right, it wasn't as much. Yep. Quick show note, everyone. Monday night, Mark C. Comics Talk. Wave 3 of the Mark C. Comics creator, Clobberin Times Mark C. Comics creator Hall of Fame. Who will be the next 10 inductees? I don't even know. All I do, again, this is a very, an extremely vetted and just a grueling process. The Academy of Clobberers, comic clobberers, have spent a lot of time deliberating and in intense deliberation. And the voters, me, I'm the only voter, have voted and have spoken. And there will be 10 more. So yeah, believe me, it wasn't easy competing with myself for all those votes of one. And so it's a very fair. I had to be very fair. And so, and I wanted everyone, me, to have his say, their say. Oh man, I'm messing up words. But and yeah, but I was fair. I want you to know that. And all opinions were considered. And taken into account. And who am I kidding? I'm the only voter. I'm the only one that gets to say it. The only one that doesn't get thrown. What do I care? I hit a button there. Well, anyway, so that's that. And again, everyone, this time I'm doing it in advance, but I'll do it all over Twitter so everyone knows too. The Global Geek Gang, the fate of the Global Geek Gang will be fully decided in January. It will not be. There will be no Global Geek Gang Thursday afternoon, but a week from Thursday afternoon, which will be the Thursday before Christmas, the Global Geek Gang shall gather. We're going to call it Christmas with the Superheroes. We're going to have sort of a little Global Geek Gang Christmas get together, having a little bit of fun with each other.
I think I might show up for that one, boss. That one sounds like a lot of fun.
I hope so. Hope you will.
Global Geek Gang.
But Wednesday night I will have a stream. I'm not exactly sure what it will be yet. Probably just be me, and who knows. And then Thursday night, of course, Klobby's Clubhouse.
Yes.
But Global Geek Gang will return a week from this upcoming Thursday. Kalel says, were the decisions settled by? Yes. I'm technically, if you ever see me, you'll know that I'm large enough to form quite a considerable committee. So,
don't be cruel to yourself.
I'm brag. If I can't be cruel to myself, who can I be cruel to? If you've crueled anyone else, you get in trouble. Clobber's results have been certified by the independent accounting firm of Clobby, and Clobby. Yes, Scuba Pete. Yes, sir. Yes, indeed. I like it, man. Scuba Pete, I might put you on the committee and give you a vote. I'm just kidding. No one's ever going to get a vote.
I actually genuinely miss Scuba Pete.
We all miss him.
The Saturdays. He's always a breath of fresh air. I love Scuba Pete. I love Scuba Pete and his whole family.
I missed Scuba Pete once, but then I put the car in reverse and boom, threw it in reverse, and I got him on the second shot. Boom, boom. Nah, we love you. Thank you, Scuba Pete. Appreciate you, brother. Well, let's see here. How about we do some hellos and shout outs and such? What do you think?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Let's see who we have here. All right, folks. Let's see whom we have with us here for this evening. Maybe we should do it like Howard Cosell. Every single shout out. Oh, my goodness gracious. What an extraordinary listener we have here with us this evening. I'm not going to do that to you, folks. Just kidding. I'm sorry. All right. Let's stop all this foolishness so we can get on with the business at hand. So let's do our hellos and stuff. Let's see. Well, there you go. We got the market taken care of because Captain Cockney number Spock. Hello there, Captain Cockney number Spock. He will stream. He will in my place.
Okay, well, he hasn't decided yet, and let's wait for the body to cool off. The body's not even cold yet, Cockney. Anyway, wait for the captain to decide.
It'll be Global Gang will be back, Cockney, and you will be there. Don't worry. I won't cast you out or anything. Although I might put you in the village.
Captain Cockney, we should put him in the village just for a couple of days.
Yes, you're in the village, Captain Cockney Spock. You are number Spock. The great Eric K, the Bronze Wrencher. What's up, buddy?
Mwah, mwah, mwah. I love you. I love you.
And good to see it, my brother. And of course, the great Stuart Mitchell. Dolly had braces.
Railroad tracks. She had railroad tracks. Just
and
face
braces,
it.
By the way.
Face it. It's true. It's true.
Indeed.
Love you.
Good to see you, man.
Mm-hmm.
The Felicianos, as in Sandra and Raymond. Hello, Sandra and Raymond. Hey. Amanda Bear. I'm so proud I finally learned how to almost say that.
Good evening, Narat. Nice to see you.
The great D. Bud Martin, the man of iron.
Mwah, mwah, mwah.
Mr. Angel, what up, Chef?
Hey, Chef. Nice to see you.
Hey there. J-Man, dude, I got to tell you, I'm really enjoying. I love your tier rating show you've been doing with all the different stuff. You guys are really creative with that, and it's a lot of fun. I was at J-Man stream earlier watching it, and I really enjoy it. Those of you who have not, you can find the link to his channel below, of course. You should really check out his streams if you're a comics fan or a fan of other geek stuff as well.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, he's a fan of a lot of great stuff, and they do really great streams over there.
Yeah.
So
I went over and checked it out, of course, because J-Man's a great person. He supports a lot of people in this community. He's a good friend and a loyal friend. And let's face it, he's also fun to be around. If you haven't checked out his show, you really need to take your keister on over there and park it, because J-Man is funny and kind and great to be around, and it's a very easygoing and very pleasant chat. And they talk about all the cool stuff we care about. So get on over there.
And then Cockney yelled, "I am not a number. I am a free Spock."
You're not free. I'm going to put you in the village, and I'm not even going to put you in the second apartment. I'm actually going to put you in the very, very first apartment. Right. I'm going to leave you there if you don't behave. No, I'm kidding.
And Rover will be watching you. Enigmatic Drop Bear. Hello there, ED.
Yeah.
Great to see you there.
Nice to see you.
And they call him Scuba Peach.
Scuba Pete!
And Kal-El. And Leslie, of course, there.
Yes,
Hello, buddy. Good to see you, my friend. Snorta Poopus.
Snorta Poopus!
Cuber.
I love that. The Catman, a.k.a. D.D. Myers. Hello there, my friend. I hope you and your wife are doing well.
Catman-do.
The greatest engineer in the fleet, Mark D. with AC. What's up, buddy?
Good evening, fine sir.
Darius Munchausen. Hello there, Miko. Good to see you.
Thanks for popping in and hitting that like button, Darius.
Darius, good to see you, buddy. Wolfie. Good to see that. I love when she does that too. And the aforementioned Captain of Cockney Spock. You are number Spock. Let's see.
Get to the village.
Yes. JPRPH1. What's up, John?
Good evening, John.
Good to see you, my friend. Ah, wonderful, lovely anti-derivative Jill. It is so great to see you, my dear.
Hello, beautiful fellow nerd. Love
And
you.
communications
Good to see
officer.
You. Yes,
Right,
and communications officer.
That's right. That's right. Elagabolus. Oh, what's up, old timer? Good to see you.
Good
Not old
evening.
timer. I meant as an old friend because you hadn't been here a while. I know you're not old. You're not old, are you? No, not old compared to me anyway.
Clobby is Methuselah. That's what's happened there, folks.
I need a yes. I'm Flint. I'm Flint. Brett Cohen. Brett Cohen. Good to see you.
Hey, Brett Cohen's here. Nice to see you. Long time no see.
Hey there.
Mwah.
Good to see you, Brett Cohen. Fathom Outsider.
Good evening. Nice to see you.
Our wonderful, fantastic, great friend, Hungry Boy. What's up, Hungry Boy? It's always great to see you.
Sweetheart. It's so nice to see you. You have been such great company to us, and just love you. So happy to see you here tonight.
I hope nobody slips by me, but I do see the great Chris Persia here.
Chris, good evening. How are you?
Right.
Mwah, mwah, mwah.
Chris, always a pleasure, buddy. Again, sometimes the chat sneaks by me and somebody sneaks in. I hope no one did. I hope I got everyone, but of course, I always try to watch that. And throughout the course of the night, when anyone pops in, we want everyone to get a shout out. We care about everyone here. We appreciate everyone showing up because we just love you all and love hanging out with you. It's a great group of Star Trek clobberers.
Bossman, did you see Steve Mitchum in the chat? Because I actually can't see him, but
No,
our
is he
chief
there?
engineer is saying at
Oh,
Steve Mitchum, how is Maddie?
Steve.
He's not showing up. Steve Mitchum, honey, we love you. Please kiss Maddie for me. I currently can't see you on my side of
Me either.
StreamYard.
Steve Mitchum, brother. You there, bro? Well, if you're there, that's okay. Now we know because we saw you tagged there. So great to see you, brother.
Yep.
Anybody else who may be tagged that we missed, I am so sorry. I try to catch them all. It's very difficult sometimes to catch them on this side, and sometimes, as Raquel mentioned, it doesn't always show up. So there he is. What's up, brother?
Hey, I can see him now.
There we go.
Okay, good.
Anyone else say hi? Unless you just, hey, you can lurk. Nothing wrong with the lurking. We love our lurkers as well. If you lurk
and sometimes
and
we have such a close-knit community, and we all, like, our chat is really active, and we all really care about one another. So sometimes when it's late or it's just been a long week, someone does just want to pop in, say hello, and then lurk. And not
cool.
only perfectly acceptable, we totally understand it. I do that all the time.
If you're lurking or you're just listening on a replay, we love you and we appreciate you being here. So, without further whatever they call it, we will trek on, shall we?
Mm-hmm. Let's do it.
Let's do it and get on with our. I'll let you get on with the explanation of what we do here. We will rock the rolling.
Okay, welcome to the 735 Club. Why 735? Add up all the iterations of real Star Trek from 1966 to 2005, and you get that nice, wonderful number, 735. Or as Clubby calls us, Roddenberry's Rangers.
That's us.
That's us. That's us.
Roddenberry's Rangers.
We're here to celebrate Star Trek, and how we're doing that is we're going through it in chronological order. And we've already been through TOS 79 plus 6. We've been through TAS 22, and now we're on TNG 178 plus 4. And we're doing 4 episodes every Saturday evening, and this is how it plays out. I read a little summary and some verified production stuff from this wonderful book called Star Trek 365, The Next Generation, written by Paula M. Block. She gets a bit of help from her husband, Terry J. Erdman. And of course, this received the blessing of Ronald D. Moore and other people in the production because their interviews are throughout. And then Clobby and I, who both of us have been Star Trekkies, for over 40 years each. We talk about what we think about the coverage in the episode. And then we do something that you won't see in most places on YouTube. That is, we throw it to the chat. Yeah, here, the community is very tight knit. They are diehard fans. They know this stuff as well as Clobby and I do. And so we throw it to them and we do a grading system, and they get to express their thoughts about the episode, their thoughts of the coverage, and then we all give it a grade. It's great fun. So sit back, grab yourself a tea, a beer, a muffin, a cookie, whatever it is, and prepare to be entertained for the next about 3 hours, maybe 4.
Maybe 15 or maybe 2.5. We don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, so are we ready for our first episode of the evening?
Yes, we are. We are.
All right.
We are.
Well, there we go.
Dun 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 dun. Clues, season 4, episode 14. We all watched this for the very first time on February 11th, 1991. I am going to be reading from that said text to keep us copyright compliant, Star Trek 365, The Next Generation, written by Paula M. Block. And please turn to page 190. I say that because that's the page I'm going to be reading extemporaneously from. And also, in case you own the book and you want to follow along, let's do it. While en route to investigate a mysterious planet, the entire crew, with the exception of Data, is rendered unconscious by a wormhole that appears out of nowhere. After they revive, Data explains that they were unconscious for only 30 seconds, but a variety of clues discovered around the ship seem to indicate he's lying. The android's subsequent attempts to prevent them from investigating that mysterious planet raise further suspicions. When Picard confronts him, Data finally admits that he was ordered to keep them from the planet and to lie about it by Captain Picard himself. They say that possession is 9/10 of the law, but when it comes to alien possession, wherein a TNG script dictates that someone on the Enterprise will undergo mental hijacking, viewers can reasonably predict about 9/10 of the time that the possessee will be Counselor Deanna Troi. Oh, this is so true. So true. It's not that she's naive or weak-minded. Oh, really? It's not that she's naive or weak-minded, but as an empath with latent telepathic abilities, that's not true. Troi apparently is unusually vulnerable to mental violation. You might say she's something of a parasitic psychic magnet. Oh, okay.
Wow.
Clues is the most clear-cut example of this vulnerability, with a similar advantage being taken of the counselor in Eye of the Beholder, in which she gets swept up in an empathic echo of an earlier tragedy. Man of the People, she becomes the receptacle for the negative emotions of an amoral creature. And Power Play, she's host to a malevolent, disembodied prisoner of a penal colony. Although, to be fair, O'Brien and Data are also possessed in this scenario. There are more subtle inhabitations. A Daoud, who doesn't want her poking around in his business, fills her mind with his music in The Survivors. And a benevolent life force, presumably attracted by their psychic similarities, actually implants itself within her body in order to experience life as a human in The Child. Whether Troy's proclivity for possession is an asset or a problem for the crew is debatable, but one thing is clear. While she's on board, it's unlikely that anyone else will be cohabitated by unwelcome guests, at least 9/10 of the time. And that is all the block text has to say about Clues. What did you think of the coverage, Captain? And what did you think of the episode?
Well, I'm not sure that they really understand her abilities exactly. So some of that stuff I'm not too. As far as her, what they call her again,
A latent
telepath. I don't think that's true.
It's
not true at
definitely indicative of like the fudging of truth that goes on regularly in Star Trek. So about 9 or 10 episodes, we had Ronald D. Moore being interviewed saying that Gene Roddenberry was no longer involved with producing the show and
Right.
wasn't even showing up on set, and yet they continually say that he was helping to fix the scripts and what was on set. And then we have Gene Roddenberry's Bible specifically stating that she had no telepathic abilities. We have it on page 28 and 29 of the TNG Bible, and yet they still keep pushing this thing where she has telepathic abilities.
Yeah.
She's merely empathic. She's not telepathic.
Exactly. So that, and by the way, hello there, Aaron Baker. Good to see you. Thank you for joining us. But I do like the episode. I think it starts out kind of clunky, to be honest with you. I do think it's a very interesting story and fairly well handled after it gets past its first 10 or 15 minutes. I think that has been a problem that I've had with this series from the beginning. Is there were times when I don't like their pacing or their story structure necessarily, but I think it is a very interesting episode. I'm certainly well disposed towards it. I thought it was a pretty good story. So,
yeah, I think that it I'm prepared to give it a very, very high rating.
Oh yeah, I like
think
it.
I think it's good. Yeah. I do have some criticism of it though that helps me knock it back just slightly because there is some outside information. So not within the text. I'm not going to heavily criticize the inside of the story, the guts of the story, and the teleplay, but rather the fact that there are some outside issues that affect the kind of grade I'm going to give this episode.
Well, go ahead with your notes then.
Okay, boss. This episode is widely criticized for blatantly ripping off Thanks for the Memory, the third episode of the BBC sci-fi sitcom Red Dwarf, which aired on September 20th, 1988. It is it's so close that evidently there is some evidence online that the folks who wrote Thanks for the Memory, the third episode of that Red Dwarf show, that they've been very vocal about the fact that Clues completely ripped them off. So Clues was written by Bruce D. Arthurs, and we get a teleplay from Joe Minowski. And it's very apparent that neither one of those people wrote this story. The folks at Thanks for the Memory, Red Dwarf, Thanks for the Memory at BBC wrote it. So it's quite sad. I put on my notes, alien-possessed Troy is almost always tiresome and leads to bad acting. She is continually and predictably violated in bed, and then I put an M dash and in yelling all caps while sleeping. So this is how this normally happens. Troy goes to sleep and she's somehow violated with a sexual innuendo almost to it while sleeping. It's weird. And I did put in my notes, the voice modulation scared me in 1991. I thought that it was very creepy, but one thing that always helps me to recover is her saying species instead of species. It always seems to bounce back right when you feel like you might be scared and you might be buying into the story. Marina says species.
Oh my goodness.
It's a little weird. And so I do believe that this may be at least for even an objective observer, this may be in the top 30 or 40 best Star Trek episodes of all time. Unfortunately, the fact that it is a carbon copy of Thanks for the Memory from Red Dwarf, and that people are openly talking about it, of course, upsets me. It upsets me as somebody who is a peer reviewer. And it upsets me as an editor and as an author. So I don't like plagiarism. I find it incredibly upsetting. So unbeknownst to many Trekkies, this is a ripoff. And we should be openly talking about it. You should always openly talk about plagiarism.
I am embarrassed that I didn't mention it before you did, because I love that episode. I love Red Dwarf. I mean, a huge Red Dwarf fan. It was from the second season or third. Well, I think a second. It was one of my favorite episodes of the early seasons and stuff. It was brilliant. It was great. And when I watched this again the other day, for some reason, I didn't even think about it. It's been that long since I've watched that episode of Red Dwarf. Now I want to go back and watch it. It makes me want to reduce the score on this one a little bit.
I did. Just because, like I said, like, even objectively. So even if you get rid of your subjective opinions about Star Trek and you just look at it objectively, this is definitely in most people's top 40. I would say top 40 or higher. It's a quality episode. But the fact that people are openly talking about the ripoff of Thanks for the Memory, it saddens me. As I said, I peer review. I've peer reviewed for many years for undergraduate, graduate, and even postgraduate work. I'm an editor. I went to university for it, and I'm an author, which I also went to university for. And so for me, writing is sacred. And it's okay to duplicate ideas. Ideas are okay to duplicate, because we have a finite amount of ideas in this world. But to rip off somebody's script, I think it's wrong. It's a very bad thing to do.
I'm so mad that I've forgotten all about that. And it's probably been almost as long since I've watched this episode that I've watched the Red Dwarf episode. It's been a while. I mean, it's a long time. And I love Red Dwarf. And I've been thinking about going back, doing a deep dive on those early episodes. And wow. And it was now that it's coming back to my head, this was pretty good. That was actually better. They're two different shows. You can't really, but they actually did a better. The execution was actually better on that Red Dwarf episode, but it's mostly a science fiction comedy where this is a science fiction show. So they're similar. Whoa. Wow. Man, oh man. Hello there, Michael Beacom. Welcome.
Hey, Michael.
Good to see you there, my friend. So, wow, that's fast. I'm so glad you found that out. I mean, and I could have, if I'd done any kind of real research, I probably could have found it out too. It would have jogged my memory because when you pull up this episode, clues, because I just pulled it up now just for the hell of it, and you'll find that to be something that is a point of contention.
Yeah. That's what I mean.
Words,
like it's all over. Like it's all over the place. Everywhere. It's a cancer on this episode. So if people start throwing around that, there are some people that there are some professional magazines actually, like respected magazines that I read. Like I read Wired. I read lots of magazines. There are plenty of professional magazines that tout this as a top TNG episode. And I don't think that you should be touting this episode as a top episode, given what we know outside the text about the teleplay.
Well, absolutely. But I guess if I didn't know, I'll get your let me get your rating of it, and I'll give you mine. Then we'll get what our audience has to say.
Okay, this episode should receive an A+. It's a beautiful story. It's a great idea. It's well acted. The production is great. There aren't many flaws. There are no bumps and bruises. It's most enjoyable. And it's pure science fiction and so much fun. But I'm sorry. I have to reduce it to an A, and it will never appear on any of my top lists because of the fact that it is Thanks for the Memory from Red Dwarf. So this should be an A+. It is universally considered an A+. People love this episode, but I'm going to reduce it to an A just for content. But if we were looking at it side by side with Thanks for the Memory, I would actually give it an F.
Wow. Well, I don't blame you. It deserves to be penalized. Before I'd remembered about Thanks for the Memory, which again, by the way, if you haven't watched Red Dwarf, that's a great episode of a great show that was great for 5, 6, 7, at least 6 seasons. It was brilliant, by the way, for those short seasons, not compared to the seasons they have in American TV. I give this one, I give it a B+ anyway before I even thought of that. And the only reason that is because I think it kind of started off a bit on the clunky side. I get tired of these Dixon Hill stupid ass.
Me too.
Crap. I mean, again, I get it. He was playing around on the holodeck. I would play around the holodeck too. So I'm sympathetic to that. At the same time, it goes on. That whole scene at the beginning with the Dixon Hill stuff kind of went on, and it was just kind of boring to me. Again, I've said that about this show a lot. Sometimes their pacing is awkward and doesn't work too well. Yep. You could have at least made that shorter, and maybe it would have been better. Still, it was a really good episode, very well done, and Now that I'm, it's coming back to my memory, and I'm still very upset with myself for not remembering that. Red Dwarf did it better, and this was a good episode. This is really well done. Red Dwarf did it better. Two different shows, apples and oranges still, but hey, Rod Thunderheart, good to see you.
Hey, Alberta, nice to see you.
Well,
Yeah,
sure.
I don't like the fact too that it wasn't like it was an homage. It wasn't like 10 years had passed and somebody saw the Red Dwarf episode and thought, "Oh,
Right.
let's do that on TNG. That's
It was
such
a
a
couple of
beautiful
years.
idea." It was
Yeah.
a couple of years and it was over the pond and none of those writers were credited. So
Right.
what you say is story by, and then you say teleplay by, and you come out and you have to be honest about it. You have to be honest.
Well, hello there, Mr. Tickle Trunk. Good to see you, my
Hey,
friend.
sweetheart, nice
By
to
the way,
see you.
Red Dwarf was being shown on in the States at the time.
Mhm.
It was being aired on public PBS affiliates at the
Oh,
time.
okay,
So,
not here.
around 88
yeah.
is when I think 88 and 89, 90, somewhere up in there, we started getting it, at least down here.
Yeah.
So, yep, blatant stuff. Well, there you go. Now, my wonderful friends in the chat, what is your, and you don't have to have our same reasons for critiquing it or whatever.
That's right.
As always, go with your review rating. Anything you may have to say about clues.
Yes, please do. The word is given. Fire at will.
Exactly, Jill. They should have, of course, they should have paid to use it. I mean, look, there have been examples. One of my all-time favorite movies, The Magnificent Seven. They paid Kurosawa and the writers and producers of The Seven Samurai to remake that film, and it would only been a couple of years since Seven Samurai had come out. So there's not precedent for it.
Yep. And it's very common in Star Trek. It's incredibly common in Star Trek where it's like they borrow too much, and so somebody just turns around and gives teleplay credit. Just give the teleplay credit. I don't like it when I find out later on that people are like, "Hey, this is really a lot like this other show." That's not good. It's okay to share grand ideas, but it's not okay to completely copy somebody else's work. It's not nice.
Absolutely. Well, we have our wonderful communications officer ready to go right out the gate there. And if you would do the honors, number one.
Oh, absolutely. Hello, you beautiful nerd. You're just the best. I just love you, Jill. Jill has a 3-parter for this episode, and she's gone ahead and given this a B+, just like the captain. She says leisure activities add to the realism, and seeing Data twist around the truth without outright lying was some brilliant writing. Knowing Data is behind it instantly gives the story room to breathe and weave into the real conundrum as to why our favorite android is doing this. This was expertly crafted until the end when we're not shown how all the evidence was destroyed. But I guess it was too cumbersome as it requires an investigation with everyone on the ship. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Great
absolutely,
comments,
Jill. Absolutely. And I do agree with you about the leisure time thing. I'm all for that. I mean, if it like Picard had been, riding horses on the holodeck or whatever the kind of stuff he wants to do, that's fine. This is just a personal thing. The Dixon Hill stuff. It's like, it's just kind of, I don't know.
I'm not a fan either.
I love the Sherlock Holmes stuff that Data does, but the Dixon Hill stuff, I don't know. Mega Cropper gives us a B+.
Oh, good. Thank you, Mega.
John, not a review, but John says A. Oh, he did. I didn't see the A there. Sorry.
Yep.
A for me. Always loved this episode. It's
I agree,
episode.
John. Me too.
Let's see. Snortapoopa says B. This is a strange episode. In fact, I'm not sure it actually happened. Did Worf break his wrist fighting with Dr. Crusher's Red Moss?
Oh.
Did I actually write this review? I don't know. I don't think you did. I think someone else did. More importantly, did someone try to take over Troy's mind again? Is that why she was crying in front of a mirror, or was it because she knows she's just a poorly written character? I think that's probably what it is.
Hey, Keely. Keely Chow
Right.
just walked through the door.
Keely Chow, all right. Hello there. Roll Tide, Keely. I hope you're doing well, my friend. Always great to see you. Let's see here. What do we got? Oh, there we go. So we have, of course, the great enigmatic drop bear.
Oh, my brilliant friend who always has such well-wrought comments and salient points. Oh, enigmatic drop bear was moved by this one, folks. We're getting a 6-parter, an Esh pick from ED. He's gone ahead and given this episode a B-. He says, Data endeavoring to pull off a ruse is an intriguing idea for a story. Similarly, the Paxons, as a highly technologically advanced species of xenophobes, is intriguing. A mystery using Data's unique characteristics was an interesting premise for combining these two ideas. Unfortunately, the resultant story has significant problems with verisimilitude. It's incredulous that the Paxons would limit their defense mechanisms to biochemical stasis. True, true, true. I love you, Edie. It seems too incredible that they wouldn't account for artificial entities. Yeah, being that advanced? Yeah, Edie. Whatever Troy saw in the mirror was made to seem important, but was left unexplained. The illusion was that she saw a reflection of the Paxon that had possessed her. Yes, and why wouldn't she see that again? That is an unanswered question. 3, Data said it was the 3rd time he had transited through the wormhole. His first time was aboard the USS. How do you pronounce that again? Trieste?
Yeah, it was some weird,
Is it
silly
Trieste?
name.
Or I don't even remember what language it's from. If it's French, it's Triste. I don't know. However,
sure.
the price established that was his first time. And most significantly, the galaxy would not have been in a state consistent with 30 seconds of time loss. The ship's navigation systems would show greater displacement of celestial bodies. That's true. It wouldn't just be in ship. It would also be what you could see literally out the window. So beautifully done.
Well done, Edie.
Stand up and take a bow. D-Bad Martin says it's Italian. So
okay. Thank you, D-Bud.
Trieste?
I don't know. I'll let you handle that.
There are so many languages in Star Trek. I'm so sorry, everyone.
Don't worry about it. It's a dumb name for a starship anyway. Sorry if I offended anyone on that one, but I just think you should. I don't know the names like what it should be fair. Never mind. Names of ships shouldn't be that difficult.
I did like that one of the ships was named the Guernica. Or no, the Guernica system, which is, of course, a Pablo Picasso's painting. Anyway, I'm rambling. Ignore me. Go ahead.
There you go. No, there you go. Absolutely. The great Eric K. The Bronze Wrencher says B+. Entertaining. It does seem like they would fix the wrist. Know about the plants. Many of the things were just convenient to me. Clobby Holodeck Enterprise would have all female crew. You bet it would.
I love you, Eric.
Hey, I never make any bones about it. I would be a total sicko with holodecks. It would not be a good thing, me and a holodeck. I'm telling you now.
We're going to talk about that later, and I'm going to talk about that from the female perspective, and certainly female a highly educated female, a highly educated woman. I'm going to speak to that issue later because I really don't like the reportage involving the state of affairs with Geordi later on. It gets my blood boiling a little bit and sort of infantilizing women. So I'm going to blast off on that one later, Eric, and I love you. Also, I would like to welcome to the room. Someone just walks through the door. His name is Dave G. Sound. Welcome to the
Dave
community.
G. I've seen Dave G before. Hello, Dave.
Nice.
Dave G Sound. Welcome. Let's see here. Steve Mitchum says a fun episode, but wouldn't Data have foreseen those clues? Well, you might think he would. Yeah, I mean, one would probably think so, but he didn't. Damn it, Data. Of course, Data is just a machine. Kal-El says A-. Once again, the mishandling of Troy's abilities by the writers downgrade what could have been an excellent episode.
Yep.
I did enjoy the mystery arc of the story. However, with the captain and crew actively trying to figure out the mystery while wondering if Data can be trusted, overall, a mostly enjoyable episode.
Good. I'm glad you like it, Kal-El. Canadian Spider-Man just walks through the door. Good evening,
Hey!
man. Mwah, mwah, mwah.
Canadian Spidey, what's up, buddy? I hope you're doing well, man. Let's see here. Sandra Feliciano says, B, it was a good mystery. However, since they all knew they were, I think that they were fighting for their lives, why didn't they get rid of all of the clues the first time?
Totally agree.
I don't know. Good
And
question.
if Troy was able to see the reflection of the inhabitation in the mirror, how was that rectified in the later trial? Since he considered it a rehearsal. So I totally agree with you, Sandra.
Indeedishness. Scuba Pete says, B, why are aliens drawn to Troy's sheets for first contact? Are they inexplicably soft? 4 million thread count? This like girls are easy. You scoundrel.
Oh my God, I love him so much. I swear to God, he should have his own comedy show. Oh God, I love you, Scuba. Oh, so good.
Well done.
Raymond. So good.
Raymond Feliciano says, B, not having watched Red Dwarf, I thought it was a good story. At first I thought, oh, brother, another data-controlled story, but the conclusion makes it satisfactory. Indeed. Yep.
Agreed,
Indeed.
Raymond.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Bottom Outsider says, B, gotta zap it. A full grade. The stench of plagiarism is strong with this one.
I love you, Phantom.
How is it they didn't have data run the numbers? What is the probability of success? Oh no, we can't ask the one person. Excuse me. I got to find this other one here. Hang on there, Phantom. Sporking Raid. Okay. Oh, well, hello to the Sporking Raid people. Welcome.
Thanks, Sporkers. Nice to see you,
welcome.
Sporkers.
Right.
Scotty
Welcome.
show.
Welcome, Sporkers, and hail, Scotty.
Yeah, Scotty.
Phantom Outsider Pachi says, who could crunch the number? The only person who could crunch the number. Sorry about that. It's not Data being incompetent, but the writers and the crew and the captain. Gee, should we have Data determine if this will be successful? Nah, it'll be fine. I like how Critical Drinker says, it'll be fine. I can't do it. Yeah. Let's see here. Man, I'm trying to find your number 3, buddy. Hang on. Way down there. Okay. Whoa. All right. Aliens taking over Troy's mind again. Well,
yeah,
it is quite empty in there. her being one-dimensional. If it's not going to use her gray matter, why wouldn't aliens move in? I'm afraid even I just don't know, buddy.
So
you bad.
Phantom.
You bad boy, Phantom.
I love it. So good. I love
Right.
her Troy's mind. Again.
You wrong for that, boy. I'm going
Love it,
straight to
Phantom.
hell for that one. Let's see here. Next, let me see what we got next. Mr. Angel Chef says, B, didn't like the episode that much, to be honest, but the concept of a positronic robot lying, oh, yes, direct link to Asimov's Liar story. A positronic robot must have a burning reason to be able to lie.
Yep.
Well said.
Yes, chef. Yes, chef. That's our ship's chef, everyone. Mr. Angel.
Yes, ship chef. Absolutely. Wolfie says, rating B+. Not a bad episode. Data saves the day again. Troy is doing it. Is doing inaccurate Troy stuff again, but it's entertaining and interesting.
Love you,
Yes.
Wolfie.
Yes, she is at it again. Roll tricks. You can really tell that Data's Day episode left a huge impression on the writers' room going forward. Anyone
Good
feel
point.
bad for these aliens who are about to get violated by Klingons, Romulans, Ferengi, Borg, and who knows what. I doubt destroying one or more of their ships will deter them from showing up again.
Well, he makes a very good point. Strategically, that's pretty one-dimensional so strategizing. So,
Yeah.
and leave it to Wolfie, right? Because Wolfie knows about that kind of stuff. So, yeah, point taken. Good points, too.
Indeed. Absolutely. Let's see. Make sure we got. I know we haven't gotten everyone yet. So hang on, everyone. I gotta go real slow. There we go.
I love this. He says, "Clobbering times. That's her whole excuse for her relationship with the Decker unit. Whenever they start dating, in parentheses, again, aliens, in air quotes, are always to blame." You are on fire tonight, Phantom Outsider.
Indeed. Edisa. Well done, Phantom. Mark D with a C, chief engineer, says, "Hey, loved this episode, but how did Packlids get so smart?" Haven't seen that Red Dwarf story, but plagiarism is for losers and politicians. Yes.
Yeah, it's so true, Mark.
Still liked how all the clues fit together and the deductive reasoning of the crew. Yep. I thought maybe Picard remembered what had happened at the end. He had a look of deja vu. I'm still mad at myself for not remembering that the Red Dwarf rip here. It really pisses me off.
Captain,
not at them, at me.
That's why you have a first officer. Don't worry, baby.
But I should have caught it. I really should have.
Although I shouldn't call you baby in front of the crew.
I am being a big baby about it because I should have caught it. Let's see here. Thank you. Well, let's see. I think we got all of our reviews. Let me be sure.
Okay.
All right, everyone, going once, going twice. I hope I haven't missed anyone, but we're moving on to all the next episode.
No, Boss Man, I beg your pardon. I'm so sorry. Nirat Anaxamanda Bear put in a late one at 59 minutes past the hour. Nirat, our great friend, says, I give it a C because I always forget this episode for some reason. So Nirat just doesn't feel like it makes its mark, like it's not special enough.
Okay. I got you. I almost got into that one too, but thank you. I'm glad you caught it.
Yep. No problem. I like to watch the bottom, and then as you're holding all the top comments, you prevent them from disappearing by hovering there. So I try and stay with all the bottom comments and keep you covered, Boss Man.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much. Let's see here. All right. Well, are we ready for our next episode of the evening or what?
We are, hon. We're ready to go.
All right, everyone. So our next episode is Riker Gets Lucky, aka First Contact.
Yes.
But wait, the full title, Riker Gets Lucky, the chick from Cheers. Good.
Yes. Yeah. Riker gets lucky with Lilith, which carries even more connotations since
Riker,
who Lilith is within the storytelling of human beings. And of course, we have also the great recycling of the term First Contact. It's everywhere. You wonder why hardcore Trekkies get stuff confused? It's because we're constantly recycling stuff. Exactly what Gene told people to not do. First Contact Season 4, Episode 15. We'll all watch this for the first time on February 18th, 1991. And to keep us in copyright compliance, I'm going to read from Star Trek 365, The Next Generation. It's written by Paula M. Block. She is a prolific Star Trek writer, and she's pretty good too, folks. I recommend her over other writers. She does good research, and she always has original source material. She goes and gets the original interviews from the original people. She's not using the internet and user-generated content. Anyway, good stuff. Please turn your hymnal to 191. During an away mission to observe a pre-warp civilization, Riker is injured and brought to a hospital where the locals quickly realize he is not from their world. Despite the attempted intervention of the planet's sympathetic science minister, Picard and Troy's efforts to retrieve the first officer are stymied by the government's concern about the social crisis that a widespread revelation of Riker's presence could trigger. First Contact was probably more fun to film than it was to write. You see hints of that in the number of writers' names attached to the final credits. There are 5 names associated with the teleplay, 2 different sets of writers working as teams. Dennis Russell Bailey and David Bischoff, Joe Manosky and Ronald D. Moore, and 1 additional writer, the show's head writer, Michael Piller, who eventually completed the final draft. A 6th name was attached to the credits, belongs to Mark Scott Zicree, who pitched the original story concept. With all that activity, it's easy to assume that the script for First Contact went through many changes, which Ronald Moore confirms. It was a particularly difficult story to break, admits Moore. I remember that the first go-round on that story had to do with Riker and a bunch of other people on a shuttlecraft. It went down on a planet, and that sort of jump-started the whole First Contact thing. And I remember sitting in the writer's room, breaking that story over and over again to the point where we realized it just wasn't working. We had to throw the whole thing out and start all over again. It was a difficult story to bring into focus. It was likely Michael Piller's fondness for the basic premise. How does the Federation handle First Contact situations? And that kept it alive, and his willingness to go toe-to-toe with the powers that be to temporarily remove an in-house roadblock that resulted in a viable script. Early versions of the script, the ones that didn't work, had been written from the point of view of regular TNG characters. Piller realized that the story would be much more interesting if told from the perspective of the natives. But that went against the show's established format. He finally managed to convince Gene Roddenberry and Rick Berman to let him break format for this 1 episode. Yeah, well, then how come 10 episodes ago you interviewed Ronald D. Moore and you said Gene Roddenberry wasn't on set anymore? Like, these people can never get their story straight. And people wonder why I only listen to Gene Roddenberry and I only listen to Leonard Nimoy and I only listen to Nichelle Nichols. They seem to be the only people who could keep their story straight. Anyways, with that premise, he and the other writers wouldn't attempt to bend or break that rule again. And that is all the block text has to say about First Contact. What did you think of the coverage, Boss Man? And what did you think of the episode?
No big opinion on the coverage other than your observation that you made there at the end. And Mark Scott Zicree. I mean, that's a guy. I remember one of my first time I ever saw his name. He wrote a book I got in the 80s that I really liked called The Twilight Zone Companion. Mm-hmm. And of course, he's well known to a lot of fans down here and stuff. So, but I really do like the episode a lot. I love this episode.
Me too.
I think this is quintessential Star Trek right here.
Yep.
This episode deals with and talks about the things Star Trek is supposed to deal with and talk about in a wonderful way. I really love the character of what was the lady? I forget the name of the character of the one that is the scientist that Picard goes to visit first.
Mirasta.
Okay, and I've seen the actress in some other stuff, so I feel.
Carolyn Seymour plays Mirasta Yale, and she is such a wonderful,
yes, really
wonderful
great
actress, isn't she?
And she's been in something else, and probably other treks, but I just love this episode because I think this is what you're supposed to be doing on Star Trek when you're doing it well, exploring ideas and exploring. It's a fascinating concept of how do we make quote unquote first contact? How do we introduce ourselves to this new race that's just going out into space, and how we deal with the superstitious amongst them and the prejudices amongst them. Mm-hmm. I just love that kind of stuff. I eat that stuff up, and that was what really appeals to me. It was so intelligently done, so well written. The conversations were fairly balanced. They didn't just treat even the character who, of course, was the guy that was, and I've seen that actor in a lot of things, so I can't remember. I'm sorry that I'm not remembering exactly, but I've seen him in a lot of
Michael
stuff.
Michael Ensign? You mean Krolla?
Yes.
Yeah.
Even his character wasn't necessarily a cartoon. He was the fanatic, no question about it. But they handled him fairly even-handedly, I thought, all things considered.
He's so compelling. He gets under your skin. He's not a cliche. He's not a trope. He it's so expertly played. He gets under your skin and you become so angry with him because you cannot believe how obtuse and xenophobic he is. He's insufferable. So well played by Michael Ensign.
He's well played, but when he has this little exchange with Riker, he's not a mustache twirling villain or anything. He's not a monstrous. He's afraid, and fear is. This episode deals with the fear.
Yeah.
Quite well, and also the actor again who plays the not their president, but they're basically the president. They're basically their leader. Also good. Seen him in a lot of stuff. I'm terrible with the names tonight for some reason, folks.
George Coe.
Okay.
Durkin.
Excellent. This episode is just absolutely brilliantly written and acted, and even the scene that we're seeing, that I picture up there, that's a funny scene. It added a nice bit of levity. It was a funny touch to see the Decker unit have a little scene with that with BB New Earth and stuff. Yep. They covered all the bases with a lot of the things in the episode, talking about how we'll just say it's a weather balloon. No one will believe it. It'll just go out of it'll leave the public spotlight, and we'll just they'll say, "Yep, we'll have a mystery," and that'll be it. Yep. It covered all of those bases. This is just a great story and a great episode, in my opinion.
Yeah, I totally agree, boss man.
Laura Kettleson, hey there, and Minimus Prime's here too.
Good evening.
Good to see you all. So, notes? I'm sure you have notes.
Well, so for my notes, I put, it has been widely reported that this episode was pitched as Wesley's farewell. He was intended in earlier versions of this heavily worked and reworked script to be left behind on the planet as a cultural liaison for Starfleet. And of course, he has the other exit instead. It's great. Although I prefer the exit I came up with for him. And I just put in my notes, the only qualms I have with this episode is that I don't buy the hands. The fact that they don't have any fingers, they only have the opposable thumb. But only because the environment and the clothing that is provided on the sets require fingers, small buttons and things of the like. So that's my only qualms with the episode. Of course, I love Westmore. And Snortopupus and Phantom Outsider are correct. It's always got something to do with the nose or the forehead with Westmore, and that's true. Yeah. But I do like these people. I just wish they would have done something else to their hands. Far less webbing, or maybe change the sets. Because whomever was helping do the production writ large for this one, look at the language. The language was believable because look at how big and blocked it was. It was very big and blocked language. So that made sense. But when you're seeing panels that have these teeny tiny buttons that look like, QWERTY keyboards, you realize, how would they access that with these hands that look like the mittens you wore in kindergarten? So that's the only thing that I don't like about it. And the rest of it, I think it's absolutely beautiful. I think George Coe, Carolyn Seymour, George Hearn, Michael Ensign, BB Newworth, they have done such an outstanding job with this episode. And of course, I love the fact that the Decker unit must barter for his life by being used as though he were some type of Steely Dan. It's just, he has to prostitute himself out, which I of course I love, because humiliating the Decker unit makes me feel great. I just all around fun, beautiful, profound, philosophical, intellectual, enjoyable, humorous. It's got everything Star Trek needs. It's beautiful.
Absolutely. But speaking for men everywhere, I don't think I would really have minded too much. BB Newworth was kind of a strange, off the wall kind of cutie, so I liked her.
Yeah, she's adorable. I love her.
Captain James Skywalker. Hey.
Hey, good evening.
What's up, buddy? Good to see you. So what would be your rating then? Your ranking or rating of First Contact?
I don't know what to do here, boss, because I actually put A+ and then I erased the plus. I'm going to restore the plus. This is an A+.
I agree. I mean, I totally understand about the hands thing. It's a mistake, but it doesn't affect the story in any way or my enjoyment of the episode. I've always really been very impressed with this one, so I'm going A+ as well. Now, my friends, our wonderful clobberers in the chat. Please, if you have any rating and anything to say about First Contact, proceed.
The word is given. Fire at will.
Fire at will. Wheaton, of course. Always
Yeah,
loved,
Steve
BB.
Mitchum. I was when BB Newworth was on Cheers. I had a lot of people referring to me as Lilith.
Oh,
So
really?
I really do love her, and I love your
love her.
I love the fact that Steve Mitchum thinks she's hot. So
Oh
that
God,
makes me
good.
happy.
We all did. She was because she was a different kind of hot. I mean, what's the name? Diane was cute, and then later was the Kirstie Alley. She was different from them, but something about her, we all loved her. Yeah.
She's intelligent, and she always manages to play these intelligent
right.
characters, but intelligent characters that don't take themselves too seriously, and
Yes.
are a little bit sexually liberated and willing to emasculate men or to objectify men, and it's delicious. She's so much fun in that
Yes.
role, and I think very many men I think men really love that. I think they think it's cute and it's sexy, and I think it must be nice for a lot of men. A lot of men who enjoy being the gentleman and would just like a hot chick to just walk over to them and just take charge. I think a lot of guys like that. So is she sensual, sexy, and just a heck of a lot of fun, and doesn't take herself too seriously. So do love her. Do love her.
Well, all I know is in Riker's position, I would have been totally fine with whatever I had to do for my mission. Andy Masterson, good to see you there. Welcome, my friend.
Good evening.
Let's see here. Up in here. Mr. Angel says, A lesson how to deal with natural mutual xenophobic feelings, and seeing Riker being uncomfy with sexual attention for a change was priceless.
Yes,
First Contact turned into First Touched.
Chef.
There you go.
That is the ship's chef, ladies and gentlemen, ladies and drums, and he is marvelous. Thank you, Mr. Angel.
Indeed. Appreciate you having some, what's wrong with mine? Hang on, everyone, having some trouble with me. There we go. My chat there. Excuse me here. Raymond says, A good exploration about the pitfalls of First Contact and how Murphy's Law can interject itself into xenophobia is there. Yes, indeed. We had to deal with the Decker unit again. Sigh. Kirk does it better. Oh, yeah. Kirk wouldn't have been nervous. He said, sure, let's go.
Yeah.
Kirk wouldn't have been nervous like old Decker boy.
Yeah.
John JPR PH1 says, A+. I love this episode in spite of it being Riker-centric. Well, yeah, he's really not in it a whole lot, actually. So, yeah, but I hear you. But, yeah, I mean, at least I think it's more of about Picard dealing with those other characters. So, yeah, but I'm with you. The story is awesome, and it doesn't surprise me. Mr. Sci-Fi, Mark Zicree, had some input into it. Yes, he's a good filler. B-.
Lovely. Oh, no, B+.
I'm sorry, B+. Oops. Sorry, Mega Cropper. I didn't mean to down your rating by accident there. I'd moved my eyes too soon. B+ for Mega Cropper. Thank you so much, Mega Cropper. And we have the great enigmatic drop bear. Please take it away, number one.
Okay, well, I know I'm going to enjoy this. We have an Esh pick. Enigmatic Drop Bear is giving this one an A+. And he says, this is a wonderful piece of allegorical storytelling. It cleverly employs the alien's point of view to explain the challenges incumbent to substantiate societal transition. Was that substantive? I don't know. I'm tired. I beg your pardon. Substantive.
Substantive, yeah.
The acting was excellent. The sets and props had distinctively alien characteristics, yet familiarity of function, helping us to relate to them. The adventurous nurse forced upon the Decker unit was a good use of levity and an enjoyable piece of self-parody. Mirasta, Yale, joining the Enterprise, and Chancellor Durkin's wise decision to delay their warp program to better prepare his society for the future was a logical and satisfying conclusion. Yeah, I do have to say that the fact that Mirasta is allowed to stay on board is so cool.
I love that. That's my favorite part, but go ahead. Yes.
Yeah, it's sensational. On 5 of 5, he says, like all good allegories, this story encourages us to question our circumstances. Are there aliens presently among us? Are we ready to engage with the cosmos? Will we transcend our insecurities?
Well done, sir.
Beautiful.
Always.
What a great review. And I encourage you to look up something called the zoo hypothesis. If you would like to learn more about how the Pentagon wants us to respond to aliens, and about how we go about judging whether or not we are being observed. So it's called the zoo hypothesis. And I hope you go and investigate that enigmatic drop bear if it's unfamiliar to you. So, yeah. Anyway, sorry.
No. I like that he mentions again Narasta. What was it?
Yes.
I love that she stayed on the ship. It's just too bad we never see her again. I like her. She should have been a regular on the series. Get rid of dump somebody, dump Troy, keep her or whatever. It would have made for a very interesting story of her staying with the Enterprise and them. You didn't have to have her in every episode, but you could have had her as a recurring character, them teaching this woman from this kind of world.
Yeah.
About
or having her work at a science station, because I mean,
yes.
she knew how to break the speed of light.
Right.
And that, of course, that's impossible. We know that Einstein said that that's impossible. And, you know, I just recently finished Stephen Hawking's book, and where he says it's impossible. But of course, this idea of warp is possible. So I would have liked to have seen exactly what technology they were developing there, and what they were referring to when they said, you know, break light. It's not like breaking wind, folks. You know, and Stephen Hawking said it's not possible. So I would have loved to have seen her at a science station. I would have loved to have seen her take her place as a somewhat Vulcan, like a Spock-like character, a Savick-like character. I would have really liked that, Clobby. I totally agree.
Would have been, at least on a recurring basis, would have been very nice. Before we do the multi-parter, I'll go to one-parter here. Alark Harrelson said, B, good episode, but pacing was a bit slow and deliberate, like a slow march. Would like to have seen a unique twist in the solution of just try the same again. A bit of a meh conclusion. That is for our friend Alark Harrelson.
Thank you, Alark.
Thank you so much, of course. Snortopoopas says B+. Starfleet only uses highly trained specialists to study new civilizations. So why not send Riker? Oh, yeah. Well, he was just there to coordinate everyone to get him off of there or something.
You mean the Decker unit? Maybe they thought he was like that he was going to mount some chairs. Snortopoopas.
There you go. There you go. He has nothing better to do, and maybe he can show them how to mount chairs and medical staff.
Can you believe how much Snortopoopas and I think alike? That's scary. I'm so sorry.
Wow. That's spooky.
That is very spooky.
Meanwhile, the dumbest security chief this side of Starfleet tries to kill himself to frame Riker.
Yeah.
Wouldn't a passing civilian staffer or maybe a horny nurse have sufficed? I don't know.
I love you, Snorty.
A few minor quibbles. Why would I think he means refer to his planet as Malcor? What? Malcor 3. Oh, yeah, the Chancellor dude or whatever. I don't know. Do we call Earth Sol 3? Yeah, I call it that all the time, but it's not catching on. I've been trying to make that catch on, and it just won't happen. I don't know why. Why does Star Trek usually assume an alien planet has one government and a single leader? Do we? Well,
it is something I think about every time I watch the episode, and it's so funny because at the end there where he says, I previously thought that I was in charge of the universe. It's like, oh, wow, dude. Wow.
Yeah. It doesn't, but it's yeah. I don't know. It does seem to do that.
Can somebody please throw some Arctic char and some chin scritchies at my bear? He's a good bear. Do that for me in the chat, please.
Scuba Pete says, "Hey, love it. I can watch it for 29 hours a day." Yeah, that was a good. Yes, they have 29-hour days there. Good one.
Yeah.
The cool commentary about contacting scientists first before laypersons. Note, can you blame Lilith? I mean, Riker did get an implant for his mission.
Oh, that's outrageous. I love you, Scuba. Oh, and Dadman Clan is here. Boss man. Dadman's just walked through the door.
Dadman, what's up, buddy?
Good to see LT's you. Here.
Lord Dolph is here.
Good evening, fine sir. And Mr. Tickle Trunk has come out of lurk mode to throw some Arctic char at our good bear. Thank you, Mr. Tickle Trunk. Mwah, mwah.
Thank you. Well, Phantom Outsider says, B, only because I cannot give an A to a Decker unit pickup line. Mitten Hands is the reason Decker was selected. I think he make him wear mittens. I think he meant they made him wear. I'm not sure about that mittens. It keeps him out of so much trouble. Give me a second. It's going to take. I know these things are so far apart, folks. Hang on, I don't want to pass too many of them up. Let's see.
That's okay. You concentrate on trying to keep them up there at the top, because once they disappear, we're foobarred.
Yeah, I'll. You got 4 of them there, Phantom, and they're so far apart, dude.
Just do them in order, boss.
I'll get to it when I can, brother. I promise. Sorry about that. Usually when they're fairly close, I can move around a little bit, but when they're that far, let's see here. Hang on. Sandra says, "Hey, an interesting turn, showing another civilization encountering us for the first time. Mm-hmm. Loved Riker being on the other end of a predator.
Yes.
His desire was more important than her people's fear."
Yep. Nice, Sandra. I love that comment, Sandra, and I felt the same way myself.
Eric K, the bronze surface, says, B+. I like this one. Love the fact the xenophobes, I'm not sure, we're just not ready. That's fine. I do not know if we are. We are. Okay, they're not ready. I don't know if we were. Yeah, I don't know if we are either. One thing I do know, he must like them. He must like them. We would be trying to stoop aliens by the shipload.
Yep.
Well,
that's so true.
Probably so, dude.
Yep, that's so true. It is true. Like it really makes you come to grips with what we're doing and how we behave.
Indeedishness. Kal-El says, A+. I really enjoyed this episode. It was well written and executed, not only with the first contact protocols explained, but also the fear and superstition of some members of a society. And Kal-El, I can't find your number 2. I'll get to it as soon as I can find it. When they're not too close together, I have to just take what I can get. I'm so sorry about that, but we got so many going on in there. But I will get to it, my friend. I apologize. I have number 2 of Phantom Outsiders here.
Good.
The extremist was actually correct. Imagine an alien race comes to your world and drop off a Decker unit or a Wesley, the horror. Decker unit uncomfortable with sex. Obviously, he is. As soon as I can find the next one, we'll leave us hanging on the cliffhanger there, dude. Sorry, but we'll get it. Mr. Tickle Trunk says, A+. This was done before and better than both Farscape and the Orville. Okay. You did it better. Yeah, they both did do it. Yeah, I do wish they mixed in some fish out of water trope, but the flip on the alien stranded on Earth trope was great. Mm-hmm. My alien. There you go.
Nice.
Thank you so much, Mr. Tickle Trunk. I appreciate you.
Yep. Love it.
Oh, cool. Indeed, Hungry Boy. And yeah, Andy Masks. And I saw you mention the Cromwell. Yeah, movie episode movie. Let's see here before we get to Jill. Let me finish Kal-El here. On the verge of entering a larger universe being dealt with.
Mhm.
This episode also clearly outlines why first contact has to be handled very carefully. This is TNG storytelling at its finest.
Yeah, it's true. Hey, Pat S just walks through the door.
Pat S, hey bro, good to see you. Good to see you. Let's see here. We're ready for the wonderful Jill. If you will do the honors, number one.
Hello, gorgeous. Oh, Jill has an Esh pick. My fellow nerd is going to nerd out now. 1 of 5. She's gone ahead and given this episode an A-. She says, having a largely non-hostile race not only interact with the crew, have the story told in their perspective, but it just not working out at the end was a fascinating change of pace. Warp drive capabilities aren't enough for a society to decide they're ready to explore. That's very true. Maybe I'd have chosen differently than Darkin, but at least he shows promise in allowing Mirasta to stay. Yeah. It was funny, but I found the sexual blackmail of Riker unnecessary, though he was okay with it. I know, that's what makes it so funny. He's the Decker unit. He's no Billy Campbell, baby. He's no Billy Campbell, who was Gene Roddenberry's true Riker. Anyway, also, why couldn't the ship's sensors scan for the humans on the planet to find him? Yeah, that's true. They should have been able to.
They kept saying they were trying. They said it one time, but yeah, I don't know why.
Yeah. McCoy-worthy quote, I'm just a physician, minister. I don't know how much about affairs of state, but he is a living, intelligent being. I don't care if the chancellor calls, if the chancellor himself calls down here, ... I have sworn an oath to do no harm, and I will not. Yeah, the oath, the physician's oath, that's very human. This episode, along with the UFO parallels, was a wonderful way for the audience to relate with this new species that we'll never see again. Oh, and Jill's disappointed we won't see them again. A lot of people feel that way, hey?
Yeah.
That's such a great review. Thank you so much, Jill. And yeah, a lot of people feel that way. And of course, Jill's like me now. I've poisoned Jill. Do you see what she put at the bottom? Don't go and look because you'll lose the chat. But she says, "I want Billy Campbell."
Oh, oh well. Who doesn't want the Rocketeer? Lord Thoth. Good to see you, LT. What's up, buddy? Avon lives. Long live the Legion, bud. B+. Hi, everyone. This one was interesting. Sorry I'm late. Just here for a few and just getting back. Oh, hope you're doing. I hope you and the missus are having a wonderful time out there, my brother.
Yes.
And whatever you all are doing, and out on the road, I guess, running around, out for dinner or something, probably.
Yeah.
Let's see here.
Steve
Mitchum says A-ish. I haven't watched this one in a while, but I'll give it 10 Riker maneuvers, legs over the back of the chair, gentlemen. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Well done, sir. Finds him outside the part 3, sir. Not programmed to respond. I am not programmed to respond in that area.
Yep.
Where's Kirk when alien ladies needed him? Again, you think they develop specialized equipment, for example, multifunctional phaser ... Let's see, maybe this next one is closer. It takes a while to get to that one.
Yeah, Mr. Angel. It's like that's Earth, Greece. Yeah.
Catman says, I give it a B+. Thought it was a wonderful and very entertaining episode. Thought the actors and actresses did a great job with telling story and bringing the characters to life. Thank you so much, Catman. Absolutely. Thank you so much. Yeah, not an excellent. The best says I give it an A. I love the episodes where they have to go in disguise to an alien planet. Also, pretty funny. Riker got taken advantage of by a woman with glasses and her hair up. Let's see here.
With glasses and her hair up. So nerd, right? Yes. Love that comment.
Agreed. ED, certainly a regular or a semi-regular. I would have loved it. Let's see here.
Funny comments tonight.
4 or 5. Phantom, unbecoming a Starfleet officer can use it as a phaser. Non-Starfleet, hit the button and you get a harmless light show, a harmless toy. Nah.
Yeah.
We learned nothing from a piece of the action. Batman
Yeah, it's
satisfaction. Okay, hang on, buddy. I know he's got one more, and I'll get to it as soon as I can find it, man. Wolfie says, rating A-. This is a pretty good episode. Classic Trek role reversal to discover more about a concept like Martians coming to say hello.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it's a good thing this is not an alien species with tentacles. Decker unit may have got more than a bargain for. Yeah.
So
Count your
dirty
blessings.
and so funny.
Count your blessings. Oh, for clue, B- for clues.
Oh, thank you, LT.
For Lord Thoth. Thank you, buddy. And there is a caveat to not being to exceed light speed, that being the discovery of in exotic material for propulsion and construction. Okay. What? Apologies for correction. Mr. Hawking said it's not possible in this dimensional matrix we live in. However, the possibility it can be used by accessing higher dimensions is still open to debate. But let me tell you something. I think he should have watched more Star Trek before he wrote that book. I'm just kidding. Anything's possible. What's right? Always possibilities, Buck said. But no, thank you, Mr. Angel.
Mr. Angel is actually correct there. Sorry, I wasn't paying attention. I'm trying to read. I try to read all the comments in the live chat, but he is correct there. So yeah, among 3 statements that Stephen Hawking made in his final publication, that was one of them. But the thing is that we cannot exist on those other planes. So he said it would be impossible. So there'll be no mirror universe, unfortunately.
Well, I'm going to prove that wrong, and I'm going to visit the mirror universe one day, and then I'm going to meet the mirror universe version of Stephen Talking. Stephen Talking was his name, not Stephen Hawking. Mark D with a C, buddy. Chief Engineer says, "Hey, great first contact episode. Enterprise has another good story on the subject." Yes, they do. Interesting that not everyone was portrayed as ready to take the next step into the greater universe.
Mm-hmm.
The writers showed the conflict and xenophobia that would probably occur. The scene with Lanao was fun, but they could have written Troy having to make love to an alien to escape. I would have. Just kidding. With all the latest government UFO reports, I'm checking everyone's for digits from now on. Yes. Watch the old show with Roy Finnis, The Invaders. Ooh, I love that show.
If you have middies, there's going to be a problem.
Yep. Now, with that, I think we are ready to move on.
We are.
To our next episode. I think we are ready to move on to our next episode, everyone. All right. Is we ready? Ready? Here
we are ready, sir.
Galaxy's Child, folks.
Galaxy's Child, season 4, episode 16. This first aired on March 11th, 1991, and we all watched it. Let's stay copyright compliant, shall we? I will be reading an excerpt from Star Trek 365, The Next Generation, written by Paula M. Block. She gets a bit of help from her husband, Terry J. Erdman. And of course, it receives the blessing of Ronald D. Moore and includes multiple interviews from the staff, production, writers, directors, so on and so forth. So if you would like to turn to 192, let's read it. Chief Engineer Geordi LaForge is thrilled when Dr. Leah Brahms comes aboard the Enterprise. Unfortunately, Brahms is nothing like the idealized holographic version of LaForge fell for a year earlier. She's cold and humorless, not to mention married. To make matters worse, she inadvertently discovers LaForge's holodeck program. He's the last person she wants to associate with. But when the Enterprise becomes the reluctant nursemaid to a newborn alien life form that's draining the ship of its energy, Brahms and LaForge must work together in order to save both the baby and the ship. So, what did you think of the coverage? And what did you think of the episode, boss?
Well, the coverage again, it was I don't know, it was interesting coverage for sure, and the episode I do like, but I have a few issues with it. Not many. I actually kind of like. Oh, there I go again with names of guest stars. I'm terrible with names of guest stars. The young lady who plays Leia, of course,
Susan Gibney,
returning for to reprise her role, playing her character for real this time. I think some of the stuff, maybe the one scene I really didn't care much for was the scene in Geordi's quarters. It was a little cringy for me. It was like, dude, really? I mean, you kind of jumping the gun. I understand, all the other stuff, the tension between them, all that stuff was kind of fine. I really actually like the idea of the story with the creature that wasn't reminiscent of Tin Man at all.
That's in my notes. It's so funny you said that. Keep going.
I kept expecting them to sort of mention that. Hey, this is sort of like Tin Man.
Identical to Tin Man.
Yeah. So, but I found it to be a fairly entertaining episode. Again, mostly because of that idea. But I like her, and some of their interaction between them was pretty good. It was kind of funny when she found out about what was going on with the holodeck version. That was actually kind of an amusing one. Overall, I think it's an okay episode. I like it. It's not one of my tops or anything like that, nor do I dislike it or anything like that. So,
yeah, I agree.
Notes?
Okay, so for my notes, I don't buy the heavy criticism of the holodeck Brahms and that Geordi is somehow quote unquote creepy. Awkward nerds exist. Awkward geeks exist. Awkwardness is common in the geek, nerd, and dork communities. Also, there is Riker with Minuet. He never gets over this love for her. He has such a powerful love for her that an alien is even fooled into believing that she's real. And the Decker unit never encounters any criticism when it comes to this attachment he has to Minuet. Holodeck fantasies and holodeck intercourse would be normal. So this whole idea of the fans getting together to say that Geordi is creepy, I don't find Geordi creepy at all.
No.
Maybe it's because I've been a nerd my entire life. I'm not a geek. I don't have a cool edge to me where I know about films and I know about comics and I can tell you about how a film is made and I don't collect t-shirts and memorabilia. I'm not cool like that. I've been a nerd my entire life. I like books. I like school. I like school. I really like academia. That's been my life. And so most of my friends are nerds, they're geeks, and they're dorks. And so this is normal for me. My friends aren't cool. My friends don't watch Star Wars and then call themselves geeks. My friends don't go to, one superhero movie and say, yeah, I'm a geek. No, like they've been that their entire lives. And sometimes they're awkward around girls. And there's nothing creepy about it. And I think it's mean to make it seem like all guys are like sexually suave and all guys know how to deal with women. A lot of guys don't know how to deal with women. And that's not creepy. It's normal. And so I don't like all the negative stuff that gets said about Geordi. I don't like it. Anyways, so before I get mad, I'm just going to keep on going and say the Tin Man species. Why don't we mention the Tin Man species? And then I put no mention at all, question mark, question mark, question mark. And then I put in real life, there would be nothing peculiar about Geordi knowing so much about Brahms. This is common in science and common in academia. So it's very common. Let's say that somebody was completely in love with Michel Foucault. And they had studied Michel Foucault their entire lives. And they studied, discipline and punish, and they know about the panopticon. And then, of course, they would know about Michel Foucault's painful childhood, and the different things he had gone through. They would know a tremendous amount about his personal life. So in science and in academia, when we begin to study philosophy, when we begin to study scientists, we understand things about them and their personal lives. There's absolutely, to say that you would know things about somebody's personal life and that had crossed over a boundary is absolutely preposterous. That would be tantamount to saying that it was creepy to know that Einstein was in a learning disability class because they thought he was stupid. We know that about his childhood because in science and academia, we know a tremendous amount about those in academia, people who stand out, who are scientists, who are learned scholars. We learn about them. They're our celebrities. So all of those people out there who are fake geeks who've only watched a few superhero movies and they know every single thing about all the rock stars and all the famous Hollywood people, and they know every detail of their lives. I'm sorry to break this to you, but it's the same for us in academia and in science with our nerds and our geeks. It's not weird at all. And the fact that people think it's weird is kind of effed up. Anyways, oh yes, and then I put one qualm that I have with this episode too is why wouldn't they stay to study this organism? Why is Picard saying, "Well, I think we've done enough here. C-section has been executed. Let's leave." No, they're supposed to stay there and study the entity.
Right.
Could you imagine if Spock were on board? If Spock were on board, Spock would lose his SHIT if they tried to leave that entity. He would want to stay, study it. He would want to communicate with it. He may use his telepathic abilities. Kirk may order somebody on board and check to see if there was an environment that would be conducive to human life within the entity and make contact. So it's preposterous that Picard is like, well, C-section done here. Off we go. Let's go to the Guernica system. Yeah, I don't buy it. So
yes,
it's a little annoying. And I would like it if people in the audience would back off of saying absolutely ridiculous things about Geordi and about academics and about nerds, and then fortifying one another online as though something sexually strange is going on, or like it's demented or weird or sexist or any of that other kind of stuff. That's not true. It's just, that's dumb, and you need to stop doing that. If you're one of those people that's doing that, stop doing that. That's stupid.
Very nicely said. I can't stand that kind of crap. Some of this, he has a deep, he has, forming romantic fantasies about her. I mean, she's a beautiful woman and stuff like that. I'm sorry, we guys do that, but he's also has, a lot of, admiration for her, her work. And a lot of guys, a lot of engineers, would they know about their heroes. Remember when Scotty was all over himself about Larry Marvick because the guy designed the Enterprise, and stuff like that. I mean, you're gonna fanboy all over him. I mean, that's one of your idols, one of your heroes, and stuff like that. Yeah. And nobody, said anything about Scotty doing that because this is a man and a woman. Of course, it's different. And I just found that scene to be in his quarters to be a little, I don't know. I understand what he was doing.
Yeah, just awkward.
I get it, but
he's
it was
not
awkward.
Good with women.
Yeah.
But nope. to make it like, to turn it into like that the entire IP is sexist and so on and so forth, and even the heavy criticism of Brahms being the ice queen trope or whatever. Worse things have been committed in a script. And I will also say that as a nerd, and especially as an INTJ, I am often referred to as somebody who is quite cold and very clinical. And that's just the way I am. I don't like going to work and having people being like really super personal with me or really super emotional with me. And so, sometimes these tropes are true. I'm an INTJ. If we're going to work together, let's just stay on the work. I don't want to hear about how you feel about me, or about, I don't want to hear about, you fighting with your husband or fighting with your wife, or any of your sexual desires or any of that kind of stuff. I don't like it. It makes me feel yucky. I just want to get on task and stay on task and get the work done. So I just think that people overly criticize Geordie in this, and they over criticize Brahms in this. I don't have so much I don't build up of some great big story behind this episode. It's okay. It's a cool episode. There's nothing wrong with it. We don't, anyway.
Well, no, another thing to consider is both of them, there was kind of a misunderstanding. There's no reason he should have known she was married. Why would that be necessarily in the info that he has? It's all about her work that he was getting from the holodeck thing. Yeah. And so it was perfectly understandable for him not to know she's married. And of course, it's also understandable the way she acted, in the sense that she didn't, she just assumed that he would know that, and he's going after her anyway. She acted like, I thought you'd know everything about me. Why would that info be there? Why would he know that?
Yeah. Well, and nerds are and nerds, especially INTJs, and we have a few INTJs in the audience, they already know. Doesn't it make you feel like utter and complete crap, Jill, when somebody tries to small talk with you? Like when they try to small talk with you about the weather, or about politics or sex or religion, and they try to small talk those issues with you, and you're in a professional environment with them. Like Jill is also an INTJ. So, I just, my temperament, my personality, that kind of stuff actually makes me feel awful. I don't like it. And so there are some of us out there who are this quote unquote cold fish. And I'm sorry, but we are actually that. And I'm sorry, but that's just the way it is. If you want to talk about sex or politics or religion, or you want to talk really phony with me about the weather, because you feel awkward, I don't like it. It makes me feel so yucky. I want to be around a small group of people who I know really well, and that's when I begin to open up. That's when I want to communicate. That's when I feel passionate and I want to share, but not with people at work, and definitely not with people I don't know. Anyway, that's just me.
Well, and Lord Thaw says her massive overreaction tainted this episode. Yeah, I think she did overreact, as Mark put that in the chat there for her. Yeah. I think she did overreact, but people do overreact sometimes in life. So what are you going to do? But what is your rating of this episode of Galaxy's Child?
I think I would actually give this rating a lower rating, but I'm rebelling for all INTJ women out there like Jill and I, who are just very cerebral, very rationally minded women who are the cold fish, proud cold fish. Keep your private stuff to yourself at work. And to stick up for every nerd, geek, and dork guy who I grew up with, who wasn't hurting anyone, who wouldn't hurt a single fly, but does not know how to deal with women. So because of that, I'm going to rebel and give it a higher mark. I'm going to give it a B.
Okay. Yeah. I got a B minus for it, which is, I think it was pretty good. And I liked it. I was more intrigued by the stuff with the creature, and one of the things that put me off was the point of them just, leaving it after what happened. Yeah, that was crazy as well. Yeah, I don't like that. But, and as far as what went on between Geordie and Brahms, I don't mind. I actually don't mind that she overreacted. People do overreact to something. That was showing her being flawed. I don't really mind and I don't mind him being awkward with women either. They're flawed characters. That's putting some depth to them. So I have no problem with any of that. Although sometimes you get things that, if you would communicate better, some things wouldn't happen. It's just sort of like, Mark put that up there. Says if you'd watched the whole program, you saw what it was. We're working together to solve a problem in a crisis situation.
Yeah.
And there's the thing, is it was resolved, and they got to be friends at the end. And she kind of saw that she'd overreacted a little bit, so I didn't think it was that big of a deal. And so anyway, your rating, my friends, clobberers, what is your rating? And any comments you may have on Galaxy's Child.
Do it. The word is given. Fire at will.
A word is given.
Yeah,
Gave
I totally agree with you, Clubby, and anybody and your comments definitely expound upon the fact that anyone who says that there was no conflict in TNG never watched TNG.
Yeah, there was some there. There was some there for sure. Wow, Mr. Angel really loved it. Not Mr. Angel says F-, holodeck addiction and all its excesses should be something quite normal and accepted in the TNG universe. Hate the biased jocks take from the writers on the early nerd and geek community. Nerd power.
Yes,
I hear
love you,
ya.
Mr. Angel.
I don't know if he had any. I don't think he had a holo addiction. I mean,
Yeah.
I didn't see him as having a Barkley-esque holo addiction at all.
Well, I think what Mr. Angel's trying to get at is that that he's trying to say in a very delicate and extremely concise way is that there would be people who would be using that that mechanism on the regular, and it wouldn't be. It would be something incredibly private, and I think that's what he's getting at.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And that's the thing about it. Imagine everyone else uses that holodeck, and of course you can make you can customize a program and keep it under your own, where no one else can watch it, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's not like you could keep it in your quad or so because it's a holodeck. But yeah,
like it's like his journal, and Clubby, we've talked about this before. If the holodeck is your journal, nobody should be allowed to view your holodeck material. Your holodeck material is your holodeck material.
Right.
Barkley should not have been invaded that way, and Geordi should not have been invaded that way. And if you have all these rotten things to think and say about Geordi and Barkley, why aren't you saying them about the Decker unit?
And the thing is, they walked in on Barkley, but this is a situation where Geordi was not hiding this program. He knew she wasn't going to like it, but he wasn't hiding it from anyone in that sense because nothing untoward was going on. He never expected her to come on that ship. Remember, at the beginning of the episode, he was surprised.
Yeah.
And he never really thought about it because he never thought anything untoward was going on. It's not like he was doing what Barkley was doing or anything like that. But then when he realized she was going to go see it, which he didn't realize, then he probably said, I probably should have cut that out of there or something. And he went nuts. But Kal-El says B-. I did find it interesting how Geordi built up his ideal version of Dr. Leia Brahms in his head, only to be let down by her initial hostility towards him.
Mm-hmm.
The story finds its legs once the drama between Dr. Brahms and Geordi was dealt with. The solution at the end was indeed innovative, and the story had a satisfying ending. Addendum to follow. Okay. I'll get to that. Anytime I see a non-multi-parter, I grab it first. So Snort, I'll be right there. The great LT Lord Thoth says D+. Geordi is my second least favorite character. Wow, I did not know that. But this was a disservice to him. He did use her likeness to do his job, and successfully. Wesley the Enterprise. I mean, saved.
Oh, LT.
Oh, there you go, brother. Snortabubas Cuber says B. Poor Geordi and the perils of falling in love with a fantasy and discovering the reality is not what you expected.
Yeah.
He really needs to learn to clear browser history.
And that's about it, isn't it? So it's more Snortapoopas. Yeah, you're getting to what a lot of us feel is like never meet your heroes, never meet your crushes, and don't let anybody read your diary. And that's my takeaway from it. And all this stuff that's been made on social media of this episode and just raking Geordi over the coals. Geordi's a true nerd. And she's a true ice witch, like every good nerd woman should be. Anyway, good one, Snorty.
Indeedishness. Whoa, I went way far. Snort. Hi. Well, hi, I'm Geordi LaForge. I'm the engineer. I have a flirtatious holodeck recreation of you, but it is not sexual. Hope you don't mind. Are you busy later? A double date with Riker and Minuet. Whoa.
Oh, Sherry's here. Good evening,
Oh,
Sherry. Hi, sweetheart.
lovely
I'm sending you a
Sherry.
warm hug, baby.
Sherry, it is wonderful to see you, my dear. I hope you are well. Lovely, lovely as always to see you. He and Dr. Brahms do solve the other problem without killing the nice fishy, though. That's saying something. Well, that is true, buddy. Let's see here. Okay, oh, identity to follow. All right. And they call him Scuba. Pete says, C plus. Why are the aliens like giant Chef Boyardee raviolis? Enjoy the tension between the lovely Brahm and Geordie. Yeah. Engineers like to do it in the Jeffries tube.
I love you, Scuba Pete. See, there's a person who's mentally well.
You know, LT and Phantom, that it didn't really remind me of Tin Men that much. It reminded me of the space dragon that swallowed Joe Na. They'll get that one. Let's see here. It's a Legion of Superheroes reference, of course. So they should have let it swallow Jordan and would have given him superpowers. Eric K, the Bronze Service, the Bronze Wrencher says C plus. Why wouldn't Jordy protect his sexcapades program in the holodeck? Use a password, dude, and hide it under ditch digging. Jordy is jumping the gun. Dinner in my quarters. Wow, he moves fast. Yeah, that was again.
But any woman who was not interested in a sexual relationship with him would not have accepted that. So the first thing a woman would have said is, "Oh, I'm sorry, we have a working relationship, no dinner, but how about coffee? I'll meet you in 10 forward."
That would have been better. Yeah.
That's perfectly fine. But that's why you see why I kind of like this episode, because it gets into the mucky mess of people sending the wrong signals to one another. There's no giant creepo here. It just shows how you can get the wires crossed, and nerds and geeks are not very good at dating.
Indeedishness. Indeed. Dating, what's that? I'm awkward with women. I admit it. I'm just awkward. That's not true. I'm awkward with everyone, especially me. B plus for John, JPR, PH1. It was great to see that it's not always good to meet your heroes. I enjoy follow-up episodes. Follow-up episodes. Jordy was fine. Definitely not creepy, in my opinion. Okay.
Love you, John. Yes.
Mega Cropper gives it an A. Fun episode for me. Excellent. There you go. Raymond also gives it a B. It was a good episode. The overreaction to the program turned me off.
Yes.
I do like Susan Gibney. Spoiler alert, we see her again. Do we?
Well, she auditioned for multiple parts for Star Trek.
Hungry Boy says this if the 1942 Disney did this episode was like if the 1942 Disney did a 1960s Outer Limits episode. For me, it's Come See, Come. How do you say it?
Come See, Come Sa.
Come See, Come Sa. Okay, yeah. Thank you. You know. Thus flat B. Okay. Gotcha. Sorry, I messed that up for you, dude.
It's nice to see that in our chat, people are more emotionally balanced and realize that this is not some sort of creepy predator episode. I love you all so much.
Kalel's addendum was just a reminder that part of this episode could have been avoided had Jordy just cleared his browser history. Watch the CLOBBERIN Times 223 923 Saturday Night Star Trek 41 live stream. Can't remember that one now, buddy, but thank you.
That's his in-text citation. I love it. It's very nerdy.
Let's see here. Phantom Outsider says B. Jordy ignores one of the prime directives of stalkers. If you have access to the personal file, and he did, he might have wanted to read the file. It's like, hey, would her being married be in her ... Let's see. Now, I gotta find your next one. I don't know that he had access to personal stuff. That's an assumption. I don't know.
May I please interrupt? I'm sorry to interrupt, Captain, but somebody very important has to leave. Dadman Clan is leaving. He says, sorry, was gone since the phone died. Say goodnight. We are all crashing now. So the Dadman Clan is going to sleep. And he says, take care. And we love you all very much, Dadman Clan. Have a wonderful evening. Night. Thank you for coming.
All right. Let's see here. Number 2 for you. and I'm going to have to have a break between these apparently because I can't find. All right. Remember, let's see. Remember, he is friends with Barkley. Leia was right. There were dozens of Leia programs. Mammy? What? Programs, Mammy, I don't know what that word is, too, were available at star bases all around the Alpha Quadrant. Barkley was a busy guy, so the Enterprise D. I will get back to you on that one as soon as I can because I can't find that. It's way down for that other one, buddy. They're always so far apart. In the meantime, enigmatic drop bear, please take it away. Number one.
Okay, Ed. He's got a 4-parter. He gives this episode a B+. Ed says, Geordi is the textbook case of a man who is unlucky in love. Yes, Ed, I love you so much. Your kindness and the way you judge other people as though you would judge yourself is one of the reasons why I respect you. I love this response, Ed. Anyways, let's keep going.
Basically, he's me. There you go.
I love nerds and geeks. Anyways, it's a good thing Guinan, the ship's real counselor, yeah, I think so too, was there to help Geordi pick up the pieces and place things in perspective. What a beautiful comment. Like Tin Man, the alien showcases the wonders of the galaxy, demonstrating that life and sentience are not merely restricted to humanoid dimensions and terrestrial constraints. Beautifully said. It's probably just me, but I couldn't get my head around the energy vibration technique they used to wean the baby off the Enterprise. Yeah, it's a little weird, hey? Because the thing is that I was hoping that the doctor was going to pipe up and say, you could alter its RNA or DNA and disturb it and harm it. Like you would, when you go near a power box, how they say if you're too close to a power box for an extended period of time, you can actually alter your RNA or whatever and give yourself cancer. And that's why there are tuck limits and stuff. I was thinking that same thing. Anyways.
Indeed. And go for Jill now.
Okay, now Jill,
Thank you,
Edie. That was an amazing review, and I love it, love it, love it. Okay, and now my nerdy friend Jill. She's got a 4-parter. She's going to give this one a B-. She says it's an entertaining but simultaneously infuriating way to meet Leah Brahms, or Leia Brahms. They say it both ways. Several opportunities arise in which he can come clean about the simulation he utilized to save the ship. I enjoyed the academic battle between an engineer and an architect, but it devolved into him meandering around the truth. If he just told her, we wouldn't need the dramatic, embarrassing reveal. I appreciated the discovery of a new life form and the unfortunate realism that sometimes the danger in such an encounter is so great that defense is necessary. Well, that's actually a really good point. However, they birth the baby and decide to just abandon it. I know the Spock in me is screaming right now. And the dilemma with the baby nursing and having to detach was good, but we don't learn much about the creature outside of this. Good job. And that was an excellent review. Thank you so much. Love, love, love it.
Absolutely. Well done, Jill. Thank you. Sandra Feliciano says, B. I can see her being upset, feeling her privacy was invaded. The innuendo from the words of the program could be easily, misunderstood, out of context, sure. Agree leaving baby behind is uncharacteristic. Yeah, that's a head scratcher there. Laura Carosin says, C. I agree with Raquel, especially the part about studying the new unique life form in Spock style. Would like to have seen do more with alien, less relationship stuff. Oh, I'm with you there. Yeah, I'm with you there, big time.
Yeah, totally
The
agree, Laura.
Catman says, I give it a B. Thought it was pretty good. Loved it. Thank you so much, Catman. Appreciate it.
I'm glad you enjoyed it, Dee.
Conversely, the great Steve Mitchum buddy says, F-. This to me felt like they're criticizing the fans as needing to fantasize about women because we.
I can see that.
I'm sorry. Here it is. Okay. The because F, to me, this feels like they're calling the fans a bunch of dorks who need to fantasize about women because we're all virgins living in our parents' basements.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
we don't have
that's a
basements
fair
down here.
comment because that happened before when the professor wrote the episode. So that's a very fair comment, and I like your take on it, and I like the fact that you respect why I get my hackles up about it. Of course, you know, Steve Mitchum is a great friend to us, so I love that review, and I totally respect it, Steve.
Yeah, absolutely, buddy. Venom Outsider says, remember, he is friends with Barkley. Leia was right. And there were dozens of Leia Pro. Oh, I already did that one. Sorry. I got to get to your next one. I'm sorry, Phantom. I'll find that one when I can. Wolfie says, rating B, Jordy and Brahms. Wow, they get married later. Mm-hmm. That's true, according to the All Good Things future. That's true. Yay, it's weird. It's weird they don't want to know anything more about this creature after they sour the milk.
Yeah, Wolfie, that's one of the things I don't like about the episode. I think it's really dumb, actually. And if there wasn't all this stuff happening on social media, you know, just raking the show over the coals, I'd probably give it a lower rating, like I said earlier, because it's a huge flaw in the story.
Indeed, decompressing shuttle bays are always a good time. We have to wait till BSG before we can use them to eliminate problems on the ship, I guess. See here. Hang on, we got more coming. Oh, more. Okay, more fandom. Made an alien baby into an orphan and then quickly abandoned it. Why couldn't they have had this attitude towards Wesley? I'm pretty sure he had been weaned before he come on board the ship. Yes, Phantom, indeed.
Yeah, I totally agree, Jill. I totally agree because I'm with Steve Mitchum. I'm like, if you're going to get into this issue, I'm going to defend my true nerds, my true geeks, and my true dorks. I'm going to defend them, and that's why, you know, Steve Mitchum comes out swinging, and you and I are like, hey, what are you trying to manipulate here? Love the comments, Jill.
Indeedishness. I give it a C, says in there, not an Axamanda Bear. This episode was too embarrassing for me to watch all of it. Wow.
Okay.
That's a high rating for an embarrassing one that you couldn't watch all of there. Phantom Outsider Part 4. The real reason Leia was so upset Jordy was passing off her recipe as his own. That is unacceptable behavior anywhere. Also, remember, no one saw that minute was tipped Decker off. No one saw that minute was tipped Decker off.
Maybe he means minuet.
Minuet, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. That's what I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Let's see here. All right, I'm trying to get to some more folks. Then there's number 5. It was only Decker and the alien kid. Decker was keeping Minute, I think it was Minuet, his secret. I'm gonna guess you're saying Minuet. I hope if I'm wrong, I'm sorry, buddy. But remember, the space whale that swallowed Joe Na wasn't murdered by the science police. What is the standard Starfleet? But yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
It wasn't.
Yeah. Yep.
It was not murdered by the science police or
Enigmatic Drop Baron Antiderivative Jill thought had the same qualms with it. You know, why did they kill Tin Man or Tin Mama in this case?
Space whale.
Space whale.
Space dragon. Sort of a space dragon, really, the one that swallowed Joe Na. Payout when a Federation ship murders an alien life form, leaving an orphan behind. That's why Picard and crew hightailed it out of there. Spock and McCoy would have made sure the baby's space. Oh, now there's 7. I'll get to that 7 when I can find it, sir. That's
Jill, I was just going to yell that out, but I didn't want to interrupt. Clobby, we think so much alike. Yes. Cheese ravioli whale. I just want to put a little bolognese on it. Yum, yum.
Works
Hey,
for me.
JT Kirk just walks through the door. JT!
Hey, JT Kirk. All right. Good to see you there. Oh, always good to see you, fella. Hope you're doing well. Canadian Spider-Man says B-. The alien life form outside the ship was fascinating. Was a fascinating idea. Jordan was not a creep for exactly the reasons Raquel so beautifully explained.
Love you.
Predictability led to the lower mark.
Love you.
Got
Beautiful.
you covered, buddy.
Thank you.
Pat says C-. Even a blind engineer can see that she's pretty hot. Jordy truly is the next gen every nerd.
Yeah.
Yeah, buddy. Thank you, bud. Good to see you, buddy. Let's see here.
The chat's talking about the possibility of that alien of Tin Mama being a ravioli, and Mark says no one eat the aliens, even though they might taste like chicken. Mark.
Here we go. Enrolled in Starfleet or a good medical school. They had connections. Remember Leonard James Akahar. Let's see here. Mark D with a C says it's a great chief engineer. A-. Aside from Picard killing Moira from Farscape and the hollow shaming of Geordi, this was a good episode. Agree they should have examined the new life form, or at least sent a probe.
Yeah, Picard killed Moya.
Yeah, he did. And message to Starfleet to send ships to investigate. In the future, would a society develop protocols to deal with holodeck relationships?
Mm-hmm.
Probably. They've mentioned it later a lot. Geordi was professional, but what would happen in the future when you could create a replica of someone you wanted to be with? Safety tip: everyone use strong passwords. Yeah, that's right.
You're going to want a hexadecimal password on that one.
Yepper. Okay. I think we've got all of our reviews. We usually our chief engineer usually gets the last review in. So that's last call on reviews because we're about to go to our final episode of the evening, folks. So we're calling it now. I got to call it at some point. So hopefully, JT Kirk did arrive late and he's got one. So,
good.
7 space whales out of 10. Can't think of any unique that others haven't said. Okay, but just an okay season filler that I would have been, that I think would have been better if they had followed up on this creature in a future episode.
I agree. I totally agree.
Gotcha. Well, thank you so much, JT Kirk, and thank you all for your reviews. Now we're ready to go on to our final episode of the evening. We ready?
Oh my gosh. Boss man, I believe that Scuba Pete may have said the most deranged and hysterical thing I have ever seen in print. Talk about this as an inside joke for the next 15 years. Scuba Pete just said at 16 minutes past the hour, Chef Moyardee.
Nice. Michael Beacom, I didn't see it. Well done. Oh, Michael Beacom said he put one in, and I must have missed it because it was later. It may have been after Mark D with a C, and I assumed we were done, and then I just caught the JT Kirk one by chance. Michael, I will see if I can find it. I'm so sorry. Oh, there it is. I got you. This is not for the episode we're showing on the picture. We're showing this is for Galaxy's Child. C- says Michael Beacom. Here we go with 2 stories with half the time needed. Yes, that's a
Michael
good point.
hates
As always.
that.
I don't like it either. It's always been a problem for me. Well done, Leah Brahms. I think the writer was trying to relate the time he met Carrie Fisher at a con after years of fantasizing to her poster. Well done, Michael Beacom. Yes.
Boss man, I'm sorry to
Yes.
interrupt you. Our friend LT, he has to leave. He says, "Gotta run, everyone. You know my rating for this one. How low can it go?" With
I'm gonna.
a laughing face, and then night.
I'll speculate on that one, then, buddy. I think I have an idea. Is we ready for night terrors? If anyone is,
We are. And night LT and Mrs. LT, and thank you so much for stopping by, even though you were busy. LT, you are great company to us and a good friend to this channel and to us personally. So thanks so much for being here. Night LT.
at least I gave you guys cleavage here. What do you want? We may as well be sexist.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Yeah, we're on Night Terrors, folks, which is season 4, episode 17. We all watched this for the very first time on March 18th, 1991. And to stay copyright compliant, I'm going to be reading extemporaneously from Star Trek 365, The Next Generation. It's written by Paula M. Block. She gets a bit of help from her husband, Terry J. Erdman. It has an introduction from Ronald D. Moore, lots of interviews with him, and lots of interviews, original source material involving the cast, the crew, production. So quite a good book. And in covering Night Terrors, I will be reading from page 194. The Enterprise finds the starship Britain drifting in space, all but one of its crew dead. The survivor, a catatonic betazoid, offers no clues as to what happened, at least none that make any sense. Soon, most of the Enterprise crew begins to exhibit the same symptoms noted by the Britain captain in his logs. They have lost the ability to dream and are becoming mentally unstable. Troy, on the other hand, is suffering from bizarre nightmares that seem to match those of the injured betazoid. Crusher recommends they leave the area, but the warning comes too late. The Enterprise engines no longer function, and the ship is trapped in a spatial rift. There's another tile here, and it's quite short, so I think I'll read it, boss man.
Go for it.
So tile 195. Rick Sternbach's orthographic drawings, which convey the shape and the size of the USS Britain through related two-dimensional views, served as the basis for the backlit graphics displayed on that ship's bridge. I inked a top view and a side view, Sternbach says, and then numeric callouts were added with a bit of Xerox typography and little pieces of black tape. After the black on white graphic art master was finished, we sent it out to be shot on high contrast Kodalith photonegative film. That film was then colored with bits of gel. That, by the way, is the way we did things in the old days, before inkjet printers were available, Sternbach adds with a chuckle. The Britain model was a modified reuse of the Miranda-class USS Reliant. You hear that, Wolfie? I know Wolfie knows lots about engineering and ships. Yep. So the Britain model was a modified reuse, Wolfie, of the Miranda-class USS Reliant. And of course, that was seen in the feature film Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan. So I'm glad that I read that extra tile. I thought it was not going to be very good, but the fact that it had something in Wolfie in it for Wolfie made me feel good. Okay, so that's all I'm going to be reading on Night Terrors. What did you think of the coverage, Boss Man? And what did you think of the episode?
Well, as he takes a swig of tea, which at least is something good going on right now, because this episode well, interesting coverage there, especially the part about the Miranda class ship. The episode, however, how many times do we have to have another? Just in the 4 we've done tonight, we have 2 uses. Let's use Troy's stupid, silly so-called abilities again.
And she's not a telepath. I wish we were on my laptop instead of what I call Big Bertha, my computer that I use to stream with. I call Big B. She's a giant Apple computer. Because I would love to screen share the image of the Bible that clearly states that she is not a telepath. And the reason why she's a telepath is because she's not fully Betazoid. She's not fully Beta Z. She's half, and she has no latent telepathic abilities whatsoever. She is empathic. That's it.
Right.
She senses people's feelings.
Well, this one, they had to, to do it, still using her as a gimmick, but they constructed into the script another Betazoid.
Mm-hmm.
Played by a guy who was on Babylon 5 a few times.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
But it's just that, I don't know. I think it's called Night Terrors for a couple of reasons. I fell asleep the first time I tried to watch it this week. Then the second time, I remembered, I woke up. Oh crap! It's over. I don't know what happened. Even because I'm sure I know I saw it way back when, but I don't think I've ever really cared much. So I probably never really watched it that much, throughout the years. And so I went back to try again. I went back to. I was so underwhelmed, if you will, by what I'd already seen. I didn't bother starting it over. Going to start back to I went back to the spot where I figured the only thing I remembered, and it's not easy to remember. Then I fell asleep again. And I realized today, I was thinking, did I watch all my episodes? I know you do yours today, but you done the same day. I don't. Sometimes I'll do it as early as Sunday or Monday or Tuesday. Just do it, So I'll go, oh, crap. I don't know what happened in that episode. Was it that bad? And I realized, I fell asleep again. Twice. I got to back this thing up again and finish it just to know what the hell happened.
Yeah, it's bad. And
it sucks because nothing happens in this whole episode. And all that crap. I can't. This is kind of a pet peeve of mine. How many times do we have to see a starship come across another starship where everybody else has been killed each other, slaughtered each other?
Yep.
Everybody else in Starfleet are dumbasses who can't solve their own problems except the Enterprise.
Yep.
And everything is cliched, dumb, senseless in this episode. And then we don't even get they don't even have the courtesy to at the end tell us what the hell happened, because they don't tell you what happened. They don't tell you about what these other aliens are that are reaching out to them. They never explain it. They just say, oh, well, we got out, screw them, goodbye. By blowing something up, we communicated with them. They never explain a damn thing in this freaking episode. They don't. This is another one of those episodes. Look, we've talked about this a lot throughout our Star Trek reviews. There's some things you don't really have to explain, but there's some things you do have to explain. Or you're just a lazy ass writer. And this episode, that's why I fell asleep twice, because this episode made me lazy. I'm already a lazy bastard anyway. This episode made me so lazy I had to keep going back to it because it was written with what I hate the most of any show, and that's lazy writing, lazy ass writing beyond belief. So like, yeah, we'll just throw shit around and have some spooky scenes, and we'll show a big green cloud, and we'll show Troy out there floating around in it doing nothing, and we'll show Worf try to kill himself. That'll be interesting, won't it? Just gobbledygook. I mean, the whole idea maybe was okay about the in terms of depriving their abilities to dream through the rapid eye movement, sleep, and all that kind of stuff. So what? You did nothing with it.
Yeah,
you suck. This episode. Granted, there were worse ones, but it was just more of a crashing bore and a lazy piece of drivel than anything else.
Yeah.
Sorry. Not sorry.
No, you have nothing to apologize for. I would actually like, on behalf of almost everyone in the chat, I would really like it if you could cleanse our palates by clearing the screen and putting up the Clawbony.
Clawbony time? I think it's Clawbony time.
It's the Clawbony time, folks, if you're new here.
The
Clawbony
thank you,
is a pop culture Zamboni. It does clean up. It cleanses the palate. It cleans up popular culture. And it was, of course, drawn by the wonderful Hungry Boy, who, of course, is a professional comic book artist. But for obvious reasons, he has to materialize here anonymously. So we need the Clawbony. This is utter trash. It's a big poopy diaper being smeared all over TNG.
Thank you, Jill, by the way. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much, Jill.
Thank you.
Yeah, the suck is hard in this
Ugh.
one.
Woo.
And you know, and you wonder why people don't like Jerry Taylor. Um ugh, it's awful. So here's my notes.
I
This
appreciate you,
episode
Jill. Go ahead.
And this episode goes against everything said in the writers and editors TNG Bible, written by Gene Roddenberry. Troy is an empath, not a telepath. And some people say, oh, you know, well, she can communicate with other betazoids or other beta Zeds or you know, whichever. Yeah, okay, but the problem is that it continually leads to this mystique that is often mistaken in this writer's room that she's a telepath, and she's not a telepath. To the point where in one episode she says that she can't even read facial expressions without the aid of her telepathy that does not exist. And for that, I will turn you to the TNG Bible, and you may read on page 28 and 29 that she is a half beta Z who has empathic abilities, no telepathic abilities. She's supposed to be tall, slender, and come to the aid of the core bridge crew. There's supposed to be a full contingent of psychiatrists and counselors on board. So I don't like that it's added to the mystique that she is something that she is not. She is clearly in black and white stated on page 28 and 29 of the TNG Bible, part beta Z, and is only empathic. She's really good at reading emotions, facial features, and so on and so forth. She's not telepathic. The end. And
so
then
bad.
one of my other comments is, oh, here it is. Terrible acting, terrible writing.
Absolutely. Thank you, JT Kirk, for the super sticker, and thank you again, Jill. I appreciate those words. And yeah, it's just, oh God, it's so, and it's boring. It's mindless. It's
Yes.
nothing interesting happens in this damn episode. Talk about filler. Wow. Someone
It's
mentioned
bad.
filler earlier. It sucks. Well, everyone, sorry, before I do that, what is your rating of Night Terrors number one? Oh, by the way, before I do that, you know what, everyone? This episode sucks so bad I deserve popcorn. Watch me eat popcorn right now on the air. Like I haven't been sneaking it the whole time.
Okay, so hold your fire, everyone. Do not put your review. Do not put your review. Wait.
Yes, wait for me to have popcorn.
Okay, so
there we go. Now you give your rating while I eat my popcorn.
Yeah, you go ahead and do that. This is a D for me. I think there's worse Star Trek out there, but not really. Like there's not a lot of stuff that's worse than this. So this is a D for me. I'm going to go ahead right now and say that this is an F- on behalf of LT. So LT is probably giving this an F-. You may check the comments tomorrow when he has time to
Yes.
log his review, but I'm certain it's an F-. For me, it's a D for dumb, dull dog poop. It's triple D. It's a triple D extravaganza where the clawbony must be hosed off and used repeatedly. It
my
sucks.
goodness. Indeed it is. I'm going with an F. And the reason why I'm doing that is because I don't have a good reason, because they had no reason to make this episode. So why should I have a good reason to give it an F? F it. F this episode. I mean, yes, there are worse ones. There are episodes that really, this doesn't even piss me off. It pushed me to sleep twice. Twice. Other episodes piss me off. This doesn't. I'm just like, eh. But you know, what can you do? Anyway, but don't.
I beg your pardon. Please excuse me for 1 second, boss man. Mr. Angel, you have nothing to apologize for. Clubby did say, everyone.
I missed it.
You didn't mean to, honey. Don't you worry about it. We'll get your comment. And that's why I yelled, hold your fire. So don't you worry about it. It's not your fault, Mr. Angel, our wonderful crew chef.
Oh, yeah.
Don't you worry about it.
My fault. Sorry. Nirant, popcorn, just standard, very buttery, greasy Rodenbacher popcorn. Popped in my Batman popcorn machine that my daughter gave me for Christmas.
What? You have a Batman popcorn machine?
I showed you that before.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
you did.
Yeah, my Batman popcorn machines. Yeah, that is wearing the. Yep, I love it. I'm wearing it out. Mr. Angel said, I am not even going to dignify this one with a rating. Insert a 480-hour rant on the stupidity of this episode and cries in silence in the corner. Thank you.
Jeff.
And thank you, Jill. Jill has some popcorn emoticons there. I love me some popcorn. And no, everyone, I'm not sneaking popcorn all the time when Raquel's talking at all. Don't even think that. Never apologize. You're a good friend here, Mr. Angel. Appreciate you.
That's right, sweetheart. Don't you worry.
R for raspberry. Okay, so let's see, everyone. See if we got our reviews going yet. I think. Okay, B for Alaric Harrison.
Is the word given? Fire at will.
Oh, yeah, the word is given. Did I not give the word? I'm sorry. The word is given, clubberers.
Yeah. Well, you kind of did, and then you took it back, and then you said, don't worry about it. Just
okay.
I got you covered. That's why you have a first officer.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, number one. I like that. Orville Kloppenbacher.
That's great.
Way to go, Snorty.
Snorty. That's great.
Alaric Harrison says, B, I liked this episode. How they maintain tension, lack of REM, and mystery to the end. I like Troy's role in the story. I like they played well enough with the aliens' unique cryptic communication. Well, you know what? We respect all differing opinions here.
That's
and
right.
So much so, we're going to keep the Club Bunny, but you deserve at least another look at cleavage for that. Since you liked it, oops, sorry. You at least deserve a treat. So, Alaric, there you go. I don't know if you care about that.
You should know, Alaric, that Marina was extremely upset that she had to film this episode. Apparently, she did not enjoy being in the floaty apparatus. I guess it's some sort of belt system, and she did not like being suspended above the ground. And she has she's afraid of heights and stuff. So she actually says she hates this episode. I believe she's on record saying she hates this episode.
Wine, Marina. Go dig a ditch and then whine, okay?
Hey, Troy Pacelli's here. Good evening,
hey,
fine.
And
you know what that means. Netter's here as well. Good evening, Netters.
Oh, I hope so. Whether she's here or not, hey to Netters as well. Hope you're doing well, Troy. Let's see here. F this episode says Snorty. Oh, wonderful! Another Troy episode. She's a poorly written character, and giving her story focus ruins another episode. At least it helped me sleep. I mean, it really does. She does. I mean, I'm so sick of the Troy episodes.
Yep.
Why didn't the aliens just ask for some hydrogen? I don't know. Wait, space is full of free floating hydrogen. Otherwise, why would a starship have buzzard collectors? Don't ask questions that will never be answered. That's all I gotta say. They don't answer jack poop in this episode.
How very painfully logic of you.
Yeah, don't be logic. Don't ask questions because this episode's not about the questions. It's about it's not about the answers.
Logical. That's too logical. Too logical. Do
not use logic. I am not programmed to respond to that area. Steve Mitchum says, F this episode. I'm sorry. It says F. This episode makes me wish I needed a visor to watch it.
Steve.
I forgot the period there for a minute there. Eric K says, F. Thanks. You made my headache worse watching this.
Oh, honey, I'm sending you a hug. I wish you didn't have a headache. I love you. I don't want you to have a headache.
Oh, my goodness. Let's see. Enigmatic Dropper, I think, only has one part. So go take it away, number one. Then go directly into Jill's SP.
F. I honestly couldn't stay awake through this ridiculous, prosaic, quasi supernatural, cliched mess. On the plus side, it's better than the filth and shades of gray. And then he follows up the comment by saying in the chat, it's the panacea that every insomniac needs.
Yes.
I love you, Enigmatic Drop Bear.
Good point.
Beautiful.
All right. Oh, yes. Netters is here. Hello, Netters.
Yeah, she is.
Lovely to see you, dear. Let's see. Let me go back. This thing jumped on me. Hang on, folks. Bzz, 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 bzz. Wow, really jumped on me big time there. Okay, let's see here. We got to. Well, before we go to the multi-porter, I'll do this one real quick. John says, D-. Troy deserves all this abuse for future comments on the Texas ice storm. That's for sure. She's an idiot. Yep. Just kidding. I was wondering what was going on and didn't mind the use of atomic structure as a way to communicate. Gotcha.
Okay.
Here, if you will take it away, number one, we have Jill.
Hello, beautiful. Jill. My fellow nerd. She's got a 5-parter. It's an Esh pick. She gives this episode an F, and that's saying something because Jill is very generous when it comes to Star Trek. She is a true 735er. She is a true Roddenberry's. What did you call us again?
Roddenberry's Rangers.
Roddenberry's Rangers. I love that. That is such a good name. We have another mystery, clues, but instead of following clues, she's just missing some words. It's okay, folks. Stupid autocorrect. We follow a series of hallucinations by the crew and Troy drifting around in her nightmare. It dragged and it dragged. I've always hated this one. This advanced alien species doesn't have a term for hydrogen. Maybe this species can only speak in riddles and the Betazoid only repeats it. It's just boring and slow. When we finally get some kind of explanation for the engine troubles, it is some fantastical rift that sucks in energy. But where is that energy going? Why are we getting a sequel to The Naked Now? Oh, I love Jill. Recycling the deflector dish weapon from Best of Both Worlds was neat until it fizzled out into nothing. More hallucinations. I wish Guinan pulled out her rifle sooner. God, I love Jill. Had acute narcolepsy as a kid that inhibited by REM sleep, but this never caused me to experience any violence or paranoia. So the neuroscience in this episode is at least anecdotally dubious. Oh,
well done.
Stand up and take a bow. That was an excellent review. I loved every second of it, Jill.
Jill, that was so excellent. I'm going to eat a piece of popcorn.
I
dropped it, but I found it. There we go. Jill, just for that, after all of your great reviews, I'm good. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to eat a piece of popcorn every time. Let's see here. Hungry Boy says, can't be eloquent for this one because I love classic scary tales and good vibes. Good ones have, proper payoffs for setups. The opposite to a bait and switch.
Hungry Boy is right here. Do you know that is like a major form of feedback for this episode is that everyone found it rather scary and they sort of give it a pass because it's a standout as one of the few more frightening episodes. So his feedback is salient.
I'm some deedishness. Great setups with bad payoff in a horror style ep is like watching a Godzilla movie, but at the end, it's just a Thanksgiving Day parade Godzilla blimp. F for Cosmic Fart Cloud. Nice Galactus reference there.
So
Wonder. Indeed. Boy. Thank you so much, Hungry Boy. Appreciate that. Mr. Tickle Truck says F. An F and F, and the F gets an F and F. At least if she had one of those dreams where you get to class or work naked, we get something out of the episode. Divide this by 0. Error.
I love you, Mr. Tickle Trunk. What a great review.
Indeed. Captain James C. Skywalker says D-. This episode can really turn a person off from Next Generation. They got so many that I'm really this whole series is I'm getting a new kind of perspective on it, to be quite honest. They're just so inconsistent. Wolfie says 1 of 2 here. Rating C-. Gets a better grade because of the reuse of the Reliant model. Miranda class is the workhorse. Red shirt of starships.
I love you, Wolfie. I knew you'd like that, and I knew JT Kirk would like it too. We have our two like hyper Star Trek nerds who love all the ships here, and so Wolfie and JT Kirk, for them, they love this kind of thing.
Creepy whisper voice, poops in the dark. One eye that is brown.
So bad.
Kal-El says D-. Although this episode could have been interesting and well done, the writers decided to go in another unrecommended direction.
Mhm.
The only saving grace of this episode was the patience
Mhm.
of the aliens trying to communicate with the Enterprise, who were probably wondering if they had just encountered the Packlegs by mistake. The forgettable, poorly executed episode. Yes, sir.
Agreed, Kal-El.
Well
Thank you.
said. Well said indeed, sir. Well said indeed. The Catman, aka Dee Dee Myers, usually a very kind critic, gives it a D++++. Wow, there you go.
Yep.
There you go.
Thank
Can't
you,
say I
Dee Dee.
blame you, buddy. Let's see what we got here. I know we got some more, folks. Hang on a second. Oh, look at this. I hope you're still here, Netters. Happy birthday to you. The lovely Netters. It is the birthday of the lovely Netters. I hope you had a wonderful birthday, my dear.
Oh my goodness, happy birthday. Can everyone throw in an NN for Netters Network in
Please.
and a little emoticon with a cake or maybe a party hat.
I don't have access to any of those, but I put it in there.
Yes, please. Show Netters Network some love, please. She's so kind to everyone. She's just a ray of sunshine, really beautiful person. And it's her birthday. I'm so happy you were born, Netters.
Happy birthday to you indeed. JT Kirk says he's got 4 thingies of popcorn, so that means I have to, let's see here. If I understand the instruction correctly, 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces of popcorn that I have to eat. Okay, thank you. Thanks, JT Kirk. Let's see. I'm sorry. I missed. Oh well, I jumped the gun. Anyway, 4 out of 10, or an A+. A- on the STD scale. An easy bottom 5 for me. This episode gives me night terrors just thinking about it. Why do you think Troy episodes struggle to succeed? I think
it's a good question.
A lot of people keep saying, and basically, she's a terribly written character, inconsistently written character, because the only time they ever really give her anything to do of any type of substance, it deals with her silly superpowers that they like to give her when they find them useful.
Yeah. Yep.
Or when they just want to show cleavage.
Yep. And Gene Roddenberry even compares them to Vulcan powers. He even goes into detail to compare them to Spock's powers and to say that they're nothing like Spock's powers, and that she has no abilities in that way. So yeah, it shows a writer's room that needs to be smacked around a little bit. Okay, let's be good here. Not smacked around a little bit, but perhaps some damage to the shins inflicted with mild kicking.
Fair enough. Random Outsider says D. The vista that Troy was in wasn't space. It was the space in between Troy's ears. The lights weren't hydrogen atom. It was the dimming of her very empty brain. The comment that she'd be. Hang on, let me see if I can find your next one here, Duder. Just like him deserved the retort. Really? He was on screen for 30 seconds and it was more interesting than you've been in the last 3+ years, and your character development is already complete.
Yeah.
Good point, Phantom. Good
so
point
true,
indeed.
Phantom.
The only development she's had is never mind.
Yeah.
Michael Beacom says D-. 1. It takes weeks of REM deprivation to start having psychological effects, and they are known. So Crusher and Troy should be able to recognize it. 2, how many times are they going to keep trying to figure out a use for Troy? 3, the engines conveniently don't work again. 4, okay, once they know what's up, crew into suspended animation. Data gets put in command.
You know, Michael Beacom, just as Clobby goes to your next one, I'll just address that for 1 second. I don't know if you've read the Bible or not, but if you read the Bible, you will actually see that Gene Roddenberry says on the 29th page of the Bible, I believe it is, that she is so good at sensing emotions that she becomes, in essence, more important, like that he describes her as being third in command. So Gene Roddenberry wanted this woman to be tall, thin, and very empathic, and to be so in tune with Riker, with the Decker unit, and Captain Peahard, that she would be able to help them through stressful situations and to figure out what people might possibly do in response. She was never supposed to be telepathic, but I thought you would find it interesting, Michael Beacom, that according to Roddenberry, the way that Roddenberry would have written her, she was third in command. Third. And look at how they pooped the bed on this one.
Yep. Bunch of hacks. And a distress call to Starfleet. That's Data gets put in command, and it's a distress call from Starfleet. Stole from the Tholian web, Omega Glory, and others. This episode is the cure for its own disease. Viewing induces sleep.
It is ironic, isn't it?
Well, absolutely. Thank you so much, Michael. Absolutely, sir.
Lovely,
Absolutely.
Michael. Thank you, sir.
The great chief engineer Markady, what I see, says D+. Another episode with the Packlids, or more like written by the Packlids, or in crayon. It is broken. Can you make our ship go? Can you make our ship go? We look for things that make us go. When you find a ship full of dead people, maybe it's a good idea to leave. Yes.
Well, at least put it under quarantine and figure out what's going on.
Right. Absolutely. Bonus was that at least Troy was suffering from nightmares, but she saves us by sleeping. No interaction with the alien ship other than bad dreams. So dumb. Data orders everyone to bed. I order everyone not to watch it again.
I watch it every year.
Never again.
And can I please just say that I absolutely love JT Kirk's comment. He says, Raquel, the Decker unit only feels hungry, horny, or arrogant. 3 feelings you don't need empathy for, with 2 kitty cats crying, laughing. I love you, JT Kirk. That's hysterical. Yeah, and way to ruin the characters, right? If we would have had Billy Campbell as the Decker unit, everything would have been much better. And if they just would have followed the Bible on the score of Troy, we would have had a much more powerful character.
Yep. Billy Campbell would have made that character great Star Trek character instead of a putz. And I like ED says, he was answering Jill. I tried 3 times and I fell asleep every time. Admittedly, it was late, so maybe I should try again in the morning after a good night's sleep. ED, don't bother. I don't do that to yourself. At least not from the beginning.
And ED is a nerd. So like nerds are willing to sit through stuff that's more cerebral, that doesn't have any action. So the fact that even the nerds feel this way, it's just bad.
An episode about sleep and it puts you to sleep.
Yeah.
Well, let's see. I think that concludes our episodes for the evening, my friends. I think we got them all. Let's see, make sure.
Hey, Fat Steven Seagal's here. And his name is now Fat Santa Seagal.
Hey, bud.
Good evening, sir.
Good to see you, man. Hope you are doing well, bro. Always a pleasure, brother. Welcome. Let's see here. Who missed a super chat?
I don't think you missed a super chat.
He said something about he missed a super chat. Maybe it means someone else.
Well, I don't know.
Not me. I didn't see one. But anyway, maybe it means something else. Well, we are done with the episodes, folks. Let's see here. Man, there we go. Uh, wow, what a great time I've had tonight. As always, you've all been fantastic. You guys just make it so much fun. Really, it is just it flies by for me, and it's all obviously because of my wonderful first officer.
I love you
Um,
so much.
he
Thank you
said he
so
just
much for having me.
he said he just did one, but I don't see it, brother.
Yeah, I don't see it either. And how about the king of all wrenches, Eric, and also the other king of all wrenches, Chris? I don't know.
Yeah,
And Mark's here. Anyone? I can't see who's wrenching on my side.
if anyone can see it, let me know. I do appreciate that,
Yeah.
that Stephen, but I don't see it, bro. So
I
could be
really
something.
loved. I want to say that I really loved all the comments tonight. I think it's really important for people to realize that nerds don't have to be all fifis. You don't have to be crying on the ship, and women don't have to be like super emotional, and the women can be strong and rational and logical, and that it's okay that Jordy's not good with women, and you don't have to. Not everyone, if you want to have verisimilitude, not everyone is going to be slick with the ladies. And I really liked that everyone here went against the social media grain and spoke the truth about the dynamics that go on between people. And certainly, especially in the case of Steve Mitchum,
There it
the
is.
way that people treat nerds, geeks, and dorks. They treat us like we're just complete idiots. And so I really love that we got to talk about that tonight. And I loved all of your comments and feelings on that issue. Thank you so much, everyone. You were terrific.
I found it, Stephen. I don't know how I missed that one, bro, but appreciate you so much for $2 Canadian. My good buddy, Fat Santa Seagal. I like that. Clobby wants all Star Trek Next Generation Funko Pops for Christmas. Yes, I do, folks, because I understand Funkos really burn well in a. I don't have a chimney. But I could find like a big can or something, and we could have a little Funko bonfire, and you're all invited.
How come I can't see that super chat on my side?
I couldn't until I
Weird.
don't know. I totally missed it there.
Weird.
Well, thank you, buddy. I do appreciate it.
Can we run the Clawboni over all the Funko Pops, please?
Well, I tell you what. All I will say is that anytime I ever get any Funko Pops, I would give them to rather. If normally I would just destroy them, but now that I know my buddy Fat Steven loves them, I would give him to him. I would gladly let them go to good use.
You would waste the postage on them?
Only for a pal like Steven would I do that.
Oh, Eric put up a super chat.
Eric,
I can see that one.
Thank you so much. Clobby wants a Wesley in every room.
I love
That's true. If it's a Wesley dartboard. Funkos roasting on an open fire. Clobby shooting at Steven.
Clobby has Wesley pajamas. Fat Steven.
If you're gonna at least spell Clobby right, dude, what's wrong with you?
Wolfie's like Funko Pops burn well, I'd build.
Thank you for that other one there, brother. Appreciate you, Fat Steven Seagal. Fat Santa Seagal. Sorry, I got out of character for the season there. Yeah. Sorry about that. Appreciate you, bro. Thank you so much. It's always good to see you. Hope we have a big get together soon, all of us. Mm-hmm. I know we got the roundtable coming back for a big reunion thingy. Now let's see.
JT Kirk, I'm not reading that out loud, but I'm reading it in my head. Hysterical and terrible.
Where? What? Which one?
Oh, don't read it. Don't read it. Just read it in your head.
Which one? From Steven?
Terrible.
From who?
From JT Kirk.
Oh. Oh, yeah. Gotcha. Yes.
The chat's just going to roast Wesley now.
Oh, now be nice to Wesley. No, just kidding. Oh, next Pat. Oh, he has been interviewing the wonderful Patricia Tallman. When is that? Yeah, well, when you said there's another one coming up, great. And there you go. Now, our communications officer, before we get out of here and do all our business, says that our next 4 episodes next week, folks, for review are Identity Crisis, the Nth Degree, Cupid, and the Drumhead.
Mm-hmm.
So there we go. Those are our episodes for next week. Quick show notes. Monday night. On Monday night, Mark C. Comics Talk. The Mark C. Comics Creator Hall of Fame. Wave 3. 10 more inductees. Who will they be? I know some of you guys could look at those characters and make pretty good educated guesses. But anyway, there's that. And then Wednesday night, I'll be on. Not sure what I'm doing Wednesday night, but I will be on. And of course, no Global Geek Gang this coming Thursday. But the following Thursday, the week before Christmas, there will be a special Christmas gathering of the Global Geek Gang called, Christmas with the Superheroes.
Mm-hmm.
And but this Thursday night, Clobby's Clubhouse will get together. Of course, we're having so much fun on Clobby's Clubhouse with the Trinity, myself, my wonderful first officer Raquel, and our great chief engineer Mark D. We're having so much fun on that show. We thank you all for being there for that and for all the shows. And I'll have my Spin Rack videos coming out this week, and maybe a couple comics history videos coming out and all that fun stuff. So anyway, thank you all so much. And before we say our goodbyes to you all, I want my wonderful first officer to tell us a little bit about her wonderful works that are out there available on the World Wide Web.
Thank you so much, Captain. That's so generous of you to use your space to do that. Folks, I write science fiction, and I'm putting together a science fiction short story collection. And in order to earn the interest and respect of a publishing house, I have to prove that people are interested in the stories. So I've broken them up, and I'm selling them individually for 74 or 75 cents, I think it is, American, on Amazon. And you can download those stories to any device, Android or Apple. I would really appreciate your support. If you like Philip K. Dick, if you like H.G. Wells, if you like Edgar Allan Poe, if you like that kind of vibe, you probably like my short stories. At least I hope you would. And I would also like to take this opportunity to thank J-Man and Enigmatic Drop Bear and several others who have really led the charge in not only supporting my work, but leaving such beautiful reviews for me. You're just so intelligent, and to have this connection with you through my stories has been a great honor. And I love you all very much, and thank you so much for your support.
Well, thank you, number one, for being here as always, and thank you all. Now, as we always like to do, because we all love you guys hanging out with us, and you mean a lot to us, Clobberers. We like to give everyone a shout out at the beginning of the show and the end of the show, no matter how long it takes, because we really appreciate you. Whether you're still here or not, you get the shout out if we have you.
That's right.
If we knew you were here, and so we're going to do that now before we get out of here, and then play our wonderful intro outros. The great Eric K. the Bronze Wrencher. Appreciate you, buddy.
Thanks,
Thank
sweetheart.
you so much.
And I hope you're feeling better. I hate that
Indeed.
you still have a headache, honey. I'm sending you a soft hug.
Yeah, feel better, bro. Absolutely. Stuart Mitchell, yo, buddy. Thanks for being here. Dolly had braces.
We love you, Stuart. Yes, she definitely had railroad tracks. You speak truth, sir. We love you. Good to see you. Thank you for being here.
Indeed. Raymond and Sandra Feliciano, thank you.
Yay! The Felicianos!
Indeed. Narad and Axamandabear, thank you.
Good night.
Thank you, Narad.
Mm-hmm.
D. Bud Martin, the man of iron, thank you, brother.
Night, D-Bud.
Mr. Angel, always a pleasure. Thank you so much for being here, Mr. Angel.
Good night, Chef. Good to see you.
Good night, Chef. The great J-Man, probably had to run, but he gets the shout out anywhere. Good buddy, J-Man, thank you, man. Appreciate you.
Good night.
ED, Enigmatic Drop Bear, so glad to have you here with us tonight.
Yeah.
Well, wonderful job as always.
Yeah, always elevating the conversation, just being so sincere, such a great community member, and such a bright, articulate, and I love your participation here so much. Just outstanding. Thank you, Edie.
Indeed. Of course, the greatest chief engineer in the fleet, Mark D with a C.
Yeah, we love you, Mark.
Appreciate you, bro, being here. And of course, our wonderful communications officer, Anti-Derivative Jill.
Yep, we love you. Great comments tonight. Just wonderful interactions, Jill, and wonderful feedback, and just loved every second of it.
Indeed, indeed, indeed. And they call him Scuba Pete, and Leslie.
Scuba Pete!
Thank you so much.
Love you. You were great tonight. And such outrageously funny comments. I'm telling you, you need your own Netflix special.
Kal-El, buddy. Thank you for being here. Thank you so much. Snortapoopas.
Snortapoopas!
Gilbert!
Thank you, Snorty. Good to see you. Darius Munchausen was here earlier. Yay, Darius.
Thank you for stopping by.
Indeed. Wolfie. Thank you, bud.
Wolfie, good to see you.
Indeed. Captain Cockney Number Spock. Always a pleasure. Thank you, buddy. Elagabulus was here. Did pop in early. Good to see you. Always good to see you, bud.
Night, Elagabulus.
Brett Cohen. Always good to see you. Thank you.
It was very good to see Brett Cohen here. Have a good evening, Brett.
Indeed. The great Phantom Outsider.
Yeah, outstanding.
Always a pleasure, buddy. Our great buddy LT, Lord Thought, popped in. He had to run out, but good. Always great to see you here, bro.
Yep.
Our wonderful friend Hungry Boy, or Hungry for Big Burgers. Oh boy, you are the best. We just love you, and we just so much appreciate you being here, buddy. Thank you.
Such a good friend to us and to everyone in this community, and just always has such great comments and such great interactions, and is just generally knowledgeable and just a really good person, and great fun to be around. I love your company. Good night, Hungry Boy. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, sir.
You the man. JPRPH1, John. Thank you.
Yep. Good night, John.
He may have had to run, but we love him. One of our favorites, the great Chris Persia, the master of Canadian wrenching.
Kalenita, Efaristopoli.
Steve Mitchum, brother. Always thanks for hanging out with us tonight, buddy.
Take Kiss care, Maddie for me.
Aaron Baker, thank you for dropping in. We appreciate you.
Night, Aaron.
Absolutely. Michael Beacom, always a pleasure, sir. Thank you for
Michael.
being here.
Another smart and wonderful person. I just love your comments. Thank you so much for dropping in.
Our buddy Rod Thunderheart, thank you. Good to see you, bud.
Hey, Alberta.
Mr. Tickle Trunk, always a pleasure, my friend.
Hysterical person. Another smart, hysterical person. I just love spending time with you. Thank you so much for dropping in.
Keely Chow, roll tide.
Roll tide.
Thank you for being here tonight, Mr. Dave G. Sound, I should say. Sorry about that. Thank you.
Yes, you were great. Good night.
The great Canadian Spidey was here.
Yay! You got to do another fireside.
Indeed. Do it. Minimus Prime was here.
Good night.
He knows who he is. Alark Harrison, thank you so much. Always a pleasure. We appreciate you.
Yep. Thanks for the participation, Alark. You were great.
Captain James T. Skywalker, thanks, buddy. Take care. Good to see you. Andy Masterson, always a pleasure. Always honored to have you here.
Yes, nice to see you, Andy.
Dadman and the Dadman clan had to run, but always a pleasure.
Yeah,
our good friends.
Wonderful family.
Pat S. brother. Take it easy,
Pat.
man. Good to see you, buddy. The lovely Sherry, big hearts and hugs and all that stuff going out to you, my dear. We love you.
From everyone here. Everyone here just gives you a nice soft hug. We're thinking of you. Our hearts are with you, sweetheart.
JT Kirk, brother. Appreciate you so much.
You were great tonight.
And Troy Baselli, my friend. We appreciate you stopping in. And, of course, the wonderful Netters.
Yes.
Happy birthday, Netters.
Yeah, what a great couple. And I hope you two have a wonderful evening. And as I said earlier, I'm very happy that you were born. And I hope that this day is special for you because you're a very special person who goes out of your way to be kind to others. So, definitely a person such as yourself deserves to have an outstanding birthday.
And finally, my good buddy, Fat Steven, as in Fat Steven Santos Seagal. Thank you for the super chats, bro. And thanks for popping in. It's always good to see you, man. I hope to talk to you soon. And, of course, please go to his channel and many other channels that I have links in my description below for. Of course, Fat Steven will be interviewing Patricia Tallman on those Babylon 5 shows that he does on Mondays. And thank you all so much again. And for those still here, you get to see our wonderful First Officer's amazing outro that she made for this program, our Saturday Night Star Trek show, when they had a little help getting in here, but the great Chief Engineer Mark D with a C. Thank you all, everyone, and clobber on, clobberers. Have a great rest of the weekend.